Alright, lads, lasses, kids with glasses. Today we're going to be watching the Riese Jason Blundell commentary. This is a man who has effectively shaped my childhood as he stares into mine and your soul right now. Sat next to JC Backfire, my goat. Right, we shall be watching it. We shall be having a look and see what he has to say about Riese, the first zombies map with an Easter egg.
Right now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, it is so nice to actually see him back, though.
Come on.
Yes.
Like I say Black Ops 1 menu is obviously still my favorite.
Sure.
But the atmosphere of this menu.
I will,
That is something I will say. World at War's menu, like, every time I boot that fucking game up to record on it, like, even just the little intro where you've got, like, all the wartime footage and shit, it's so cool. It is so cool.
World at War is the thing that really opened the door on the personality for Treyarch in those early days.
Yeah.
Without World at War, I don't think you kind of get to Black Ops in terms of the maturity and the kind of tone that we were doing. So I absolutely see this as the kind of spiritual beginnings of the Black Ops series. Absolutely.
It's really interesting that he says stuff like that, because honestly, World at War, I didn't even really play World at War as a kid all that much, and I still got into zombies. I think I want to say my first zombies game was Black Ops 1. I think it was because my brother brought a copy of it over for us to play at the time, and I remember there was just so much magic in Black Ops 1, and World at War, like, going back and playing it afterwards, I can see, even as a kid, like, where the building blocks were kind of put in for that game, because, Nocturne and Totem was just, small little bunker, no perks, no nothing. I'd came from Black Ops 1, where there was, like, fleshed out features, fucking perks, all the job lot. And honestly, it's a really good point. Without World at War, we'd have nothing we'd have today. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Really fun. All right, y'all. Let's get this going. Look at this, dude.
Oh, fucking loading screen, man. I love it.
Yep.
One thing that doesn't get spoke about enough as well is, I'm gonna let it play, is Riese's loading screen music. So good.
There we go. Opening read. By the way, we're talking about later, like reviewing maps and so forth. The amount of conversations about this opening read and why it would be like this, I could probably spend the entire hour just talking about that opening section, right?
Right.
But as you run around, let me just kind of give you how it was, where it came from.
I love this because, like, by the way, that was gonna be my first question. Is like, why this view?
Yes.
Right here.
Okay, so you remember? So when I got asked to kind of do the zombie map, I knew nothing about zombies. I'd played a little bit of Nacht, that was kind of going around the studio, but I had a full-time job. I was doing my own thing, right? So I'd play a little bit, give some feedback, loved it. But I was very much, to the side, right, but aware that it was happening in the studio.
That come up is fucking crazy, man. Like I know it's the origin story of any developer who goes on to make something fucking great, but it's like this guy was just watching from the sidelines, man. It's really cool. It's really cool to see that pan out, because he went on to go make, like, Black Ops 3 and stuff, and Black Ops 4, even though it had its flaws, very, very fucking good game in my opinion. I love a lot of the maps on that, and I'd say that was Jason Blundell's like magnum opus kind of thing. That was balls to the walls, everything. And it's just really interesting that this guy was just a bloke. You know what I mean? He was just an guy, and he went on to make all of this shit, man. It's mental.
By the time they said come on board, I was like, oh crap! I got to learn this thing. Yeah. So I actually looked at Shinonuma. That's where I started. I looked at Shinonuma and said, what are they doing? Right. I saw the dog rounds. I saw the map structure, about how it was laid out. Right. And the thing that we were doing at the time, because again, this is before zombies would have very larger budgets. It was always that you'd made the map from somewhere in the campaign. You'd take a section of geo, because otherwise it takes time. Take a section of geo and then repurpose it.
Right.
So,
which is actually something that still gets used today. Cold War, Mauer de Toten, what I'm pretty sure was a campaign map. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think everything in BO3, apart from Der Riese, was original. Black Ops 2, I believe everything was original. Black Ops 1 Ascension, which was First Strike, that was a multiplayer map. Call of the Dead was original. Shangri-La was original, and Moon was original. I believe it was just Ascension for that game that had shit taken out of it. But yeah, World at War was the main one there, where they really ripped a lot of the campaign assets out of there. Verrucht was a multiplayer map. Nocturne and Toten was a campaign map. And I think Verrückt was even a campaign mission. I'm not sure though on that.
One of our guys who knows who he is, said, okay, this section here from this map looks really good, right?
Yeah. Was that? So I've always thought of it as Nightfire.
Yeah.
But it was Nightfire. Nightfire was probably actually from campaign originally.
Yes.
Too, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's also,
so it was campaign geo.
Oh, we'd always steal from campaign because we'd make
Oh
so much
yeah. Okay. The Riese was multiplayer as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's just endless amounts of stuff. Right now, this is the interesting thing, and this
or campaign. I think you said campaign. I'm not sure.
Echoes into the future a little bit.
Okay.
Which is that when you do that, when you grab some geo, you immediately say, well, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, right? But we didn't have the time, the money, or the staff to kind of do anything else, right?
And yet some of these maps are still some of like the most critically acclaimed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there hasn't been really many cases where I've said, let's fucking hop on Ascension, because I don't really play the game outside of my job. But I mean, I did enjoy Ascension back in day. It was my favorite one to go and train on, and it still kind of is if I was to sit down and play the game again. A lot of these maps, even though they had like fucking nothing, like even Der Riese, there was no budget here, and they're fucking great. This is one of the best maps. Well, not the best, but it's one of the most critically acclaimed in terms of Call of Duty Zombies. It's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Very simple. 3 teleporters, pack-a-punch, all that shit. And it works. It's great. It's fucking mint. Introduced the pack-a-punch machine. All of these core staples in Zombies, and they did this on like fucking 2 pence and a whisper bar. Like, you know what I mean?
We could do a little bit of change. We could change a little bit here and there, but you had to, on the most part, be faithful to the piece of geo. So we looked at this space. We were like, it's great. Now we could close that wall off there, and we could funnel you around there, and there's flow control conversations. But it was an acceptance straight off that you had to say, okay, this is the limitations of this space.
Yeah.
And so, looking at Shinonuma, we were like, well, we didn't want to truly make a truly circular map. But we also wanted to kind of take you off into different areas. The feeling that if you went this way, it's got a different feeling to going over there.
Right.
Different section.
That is something that I kind of miss about Zombies. I'm kind of being flashbanged by my screen here. Holy shit. That is something I miss about not so much the newer games, because you're kind of told where to go and what to expect from each area. Like, Janus Towers from BO6 was one of the... Well, Janus Towers, it's called Reckoning, but it was called Janus Towers. I've always known it as Janus Towers, I'm pretty sure. But Reckoning was one of those maps where it kind of did surprise me a smidge when you'd go from different floors and to be like, fucking jellyfish from the Dark Ether in one room, then you'd have like a lab and all that shit. But what I'm saying is that throughout all of modern Zombies, like from, I want to say about Cold War to Black Ops 7, I mean, Black Ops 7 kind of changed it up with Ashes, but I digress. A lot of these facility maps really felt the same in these games, like these modern titles. Like, I kind of expected, if I'm going in here, this power room will be down here, or whatever the fuck, do you know what I mean? But when it came to, like, BO3 and stuff, like, for example, Der Eisendrache, you were walking through into, like, a castle courtyard, and then you were into bedrooms, and then you were into this massive fucking death ray. Who the fuck was going to predict a death ray would be on the other side of the door? Like, do you know what I mean? I just feel like a lot of that magic where, you don't know what's going to be next is kind of gone from Zombies now. And this is something that I'll probably get a lot of flack for saying, you can cancel me if you want. No, I'm joking. But this is something that might give me a bit of flack. But modern Zombies just does not intrigue me as much as what Classic did. Like, if I could go back and play Der Eisendrache for the first time, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's just my opinion.
And so that's where the concept of teleporters came from. Because what we said was we want an unconventional kind of path for the player to be kind of going out and then coming back, and not to be saying to themselves, that's just a frustrating dead end.
You did it as like a sort of positive feeling rather than
yes.
Let me turn it down.
Because you're gonna go into an area, and then let's imagine you don't have the points to do something, or
right.
It's like, okay, how do we get people to want to go to each of the sections?
Yeah.
Right? We knew that people would find their favorite bit, the staircase or the catwalk, and say they're gonna just hunker down there.
Shut the thing.
Like, how do we make sure that every time you play it, you're going to experience all the kind of sections that we put in, right?
Right.
And so that's where the idea of the teleporters came from.
That's interesting to me, at least, because I can't lie. The only time that I've ever really had to use the teleporters on Der Riese has been in, like, clutch scenarios, like where I need to get the fuck out of there. Which maybe, if I watch this a bit further, you'll go on to that. But I don't really use the teleporters all that much apart from linking them to open up Pack-a-Punch if I'm playing Riese. Like, if I'm not doing the Easter egg, I'll just link the teleporters, Pack-a-Punch my guns, and go to the catwalk. But I will say that the actual concept of the teleporters needing to be linked is very good, because it does make you, like he's saying, go to every individual section of the map. You have to explore every room, otherwise you can't get the Pack-a-Punch, which enables you to play longer, which enables you to kill more zombies. Like, you can see where he's going with this, and it's really, really smart. It's like game dev 101. And I was never really on like a game dev course in college or anything, but like the fact that this was all thought out on just like zombies was so fucking small in World at War. And the fact that this much just craft went into it, it's awesome. It is really awesome, and you can say that it's very very gay, very basic game design principles that he's talking about here. But it feels nice to know that these modes were treated the same as what multiplayer was in terms of like playability and just the player experience. I just think that's awesome. I think that's really cool.
Because it kind of like it makes you. I would say as like a player, like it makes me. The thing I love about this map is like it makes me less scared to explore, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's where you're getting at. It's like when I was playing, pause for 1 second. But when I was playing Shionuma, love Shionuma. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But when you come back, like you go out to, you have your like hub and spoke, right? And you go out on the spoke.
Yep.
And you come back. It's like, oh god, this is gonna be tough, right? But Riese kind of has this feeling of like, okay, instead of going back. What if we, what if you feel like you're mastering the map
and it introduces you to the idea which we wanted the map to be about.
Yeah.
And the idea for the map was, how do we get people playing longer?
Right.
Right.
That's what I just said there. Yeah. So I think he's gonna go on to the Pack-a-Punch machine here. Now, I watched a little bit of this, like the first 10 minutes, and this is where I kind of stopped. So any familiarity kind of goes from here. But the Pack-a-Punch machine is not only a cool thing in terms of like perks, but it enables you to play longer. It is great. Like if the Pack-a-Punch machine wasn't a thing up until Black Ops 6, the fucking current Treyarch devs would be bouncing about the fact that it would double the player retention of the game. So that's how these new games make money, because they're live service. You know what I mean? You want to up the player retention. That's why they do season drops and all this shit. But I just think that's awesome. I think how the Pack-a-Punch machine was not only cool, but it also had a practical use for the player. Like, it's just sick. It is just sick.
We knew we were making a hard game, but we want people to long. So we said, okay, well, we're going to reward you with the teleporters, but it means you have to come back to link them. And every time you come back to link them, we're setting you up for the payoff, and the payoff is the thing that we want you to do to then be able to play longer.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like prolonged play.
Yeah. So you're basically going to say, go to the 3 teleporters, and every time the door comes down more, which is why when you start off, the door closes to tell you that the door can open.
Right.
Right. And then
that detail there is so fucking cool. I'm not going to spend too long on it, but that detail there is awesome. It's something that you don't really think twice about when you're playing Riese. When you load in and you've got like the and the door goes up, like you don't think about the fact that if somebody was playing that for the first time, that does tell you that door can open, and there's got to be a way to get it open. It intrigues curiosity. It's so sick. It's so cool, man.
You're going to engage with the reason why the map is circular. We reward you by then letting you play longer by giving you the Pack-a-Punch.
Oh, dude.
So that was the logic of it.
Yeah. Keep going. This is great. This is great. I haven't even had to like ask him any questions, chat. He's already.
So
like,
here's the thing. So when we very first started, the obsession, and I mean obsession, was about where the windows were placed. Right. The window placement on boards. Again, you got to remember early zombies.
Right.
Changes later, and there's a reason for that. We can talk about that. But right at the early zombies, most
look how happy JC is, man. Look at him. Meet this guy. Oh, that's so cool. You can tell that he loves this game so much. The pair of them do. They both fucking love it. And it's like it's like when you can get the teacher yapping about something that you actually have interest in. It's fucking awesome, man.
Of our development was like, why is that window there and not like a meter over? Why is it in that room there? Why is that there? Why is the other one there?
Right.
And that was where we spent a large portion, because now we had the kind of gag of like, okay, we know we can do the teleports, we got the Pack-a-Punch. You got to remember, back in the day, it was all about the windows. It was all about the boarding up kind of concept.
Right. I mean, at this point, training really hasn't, training happened more on Shionuma. But, me and my friends, when I was playing, we were doing more of the like bunker down camp, defend a point.
Yep.
Type gameplay, which is a lot of my core memories on this map. Again, like Riese Catwalk is iconic.
Catwalk, yeah.
For that because you're constantly just going, okay, let's go, let's get all of our stuff, let's get all set up, let's get Pack-a-Punch, let's get the things, and let's go and find the best optimal spot with all the windows. There's actually there's a spot on this map. I'm gonna be cheeky because I'm cheating
Don't
today.
show me all the glitches. Don't be like,
no, it's not a glitch.
You can stand on this ledge up here and
No.
Do not tell this guy about the 5 table.
Actually, I'll show you when I come back around. So like me and my friend's strategy, actually, we used to camp over here sometimes, actually, behind this. We would keep this door shut, and we would go this route most of the time. And we would, like, go over there because you see that window back there?
Even that, talking about the fact there's a gap between the door and the wall was a conversation.
Oh, like this? To this? So you can see the window over there?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. That's crazy. Like, I hate to gush over this, but that's nuts that this much, like, craft went into, like, this is early zombies. This is, like, what? World at War's 2010, 09? Like, bro, it's mind-boggling. Like, there was conversations about gaps over walls. I suppose, again, it's the intrigue, that curiosity to be like, what's over there? Because you can see, like, the window over there and shit. So you can see the shutter, you can see the door. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, like, there was, and there's, it's like, the Bowie knife, right? Why the Bowie knife? Well, we didn't have enough time or resources to make weapons in that way. But a knife, a melee weapon, is the cheapest thing you could make and the fastest thing you could make. And it was something that had not been touched. So that's why the Bowie knife existed. And funny story about the Bowie knife. I'll tell you about the placement of it and why it was there. But we had a weapons artist who's now a very successful producer, actually, in his own right. But he went out and found a wooden sleeper, that goes under train tracks. Right? Those big wooden things. He got me one of them. And he sawed it down and then put the Bowie knife logo in white on it and gave it to me as a present with literally a brass thing underneath that said the number of points that was all correct.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's
the problem was
cool.
he got it from, like I say, this train track. Those things are like coated in toxic chemicals. And he put it in the office and it stank out the office so much. And then I was like, I think I turned to one of my lead designers and said, you know what, you should have this. And then he, I think, gave it off. And we all tried to, and after like 3 years, the smell had a half-life of about 3 years. And then it calmed down. So I'm sure somewhere in Trout there's the Bowie knife thing that was given to me on Riese, which probably now is not toxic and poisonous anymore. But it was like, where do we put that? How do we show off that? Right? How do we do something new? That was that, and it was that. And then we said, okay, that's cheap. We can do that.
Right.
What's the other cheap thing we could do? The monkey bomb. And that's where the monkey bomb idea came from.
Why? So explain why is that cheap to do? Why is the monkey bomb cheap to do compared to other things?
So it's a singular model,
right,
with one animation, and then everything else is kind of script controlled, right? A weapon takes a lot.
I suppose this is one of those things where it's like you don't really think about it when you're asking like to buy, I don't know, say BO3. Every fucking thing that they're putting into these maps, like these wonder weapons, like for example, the most complicated wonder weapon I can really think of off the top of my head for like moving parts, it's definitely, I don't know, I'm thinking either the Apothecan's Servant or the KT4. The KT4's reload animation has so much shit going on, and this is one of the things you don't really think about when you're playing zombies or you're asking for new things. This shit costs money. You got to think of the people who are modeling, animating, making all this shit look good. Like they must have to budget individual things that they're wanting to implement into these maps, and it makes me think that there might have actually been so many ideas that we might have lost purely because at the time they didn't have the budget. Like I know one off the top of my head, for example, was in Shangri-La. The baby gun was meant to actually have 4 statues. So the little green statue on top of the baby gun, for those of you who don't know, you can go look at an image of it or you can look at it in game or whatever. But there is a green statue that sits on top of that gun. And there were some recent documents where it was a while ago, or it might have just been for BO1, I'm not too sure, where you can actually see concept art for the baby gun, and there's other statues which we're probably going to do other things. Like, for example, I mean, the green one clearly turns them into short little zombies that you can kick over. I don't know, maybe the red one set them on fire or some shit. I don't know, but this is what I mean. Like, there's probably been so much shit that we've just lost purely at the time, which is quite sad to think about, actually. Time and money, quite bad.
More time and effort, and there's a lot more scrutiny on it.
And there's also like
a lot of animation, all these other things, right? So again, we were trying to make this map fast, right? It had to kind of go. You know, we started new. We know we were new, and so it's like, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's go fast, and let's get to the core of what we're trying to do. And so the monkey bomb was a really kind of fun little twist that we were putting in it. And that was the other thing as well. We wanted, before it had, the dialogue was very, how to describe it?
He missed his shot like fucking Ford. Watch his face. Watch his face.
The dialogue was very, it's very blatant, right? It's very kind of like stereotypes. Here it is, right?
Oh god. Oh, it's
we were
funny.
starting to talk about like, okay, we want a little bit of the anti-authority vibe coming through a little bit, and we wanted a little bit of the subversion coming through. So people might not know this, but the voice actor we did then for the monkey bomb was Nolan North, right?
Yeah.
And so when we got in,
the amount of people I've spoke to, and I've said, Rick Toffin and the Monkey Bomb are the same voice actor. Like, I was talking to my flatmate about it. They were like, no, they're not. They fucking are. They actually. There's so many people that don't know this.
He, one of the first questions he asked us, he said, what voice do you want? Right, because Nolan's incredibly talented guy. Obviously, you don't need me to say that. And he gave us a version which was Christopher Walken bomb. That was one thing we had. He recorded all the lines like, like lines like, Sam, I'm coming to get you. And I won't do any more Christopher Walken impressions. But Nolan North does a fantastic Christopher Walken impression. So it was funny sitting there in the recording booth having Nolan North do all the monkey bomb. We had loads of lines of Christopher Walken monkey bomb.
Could you imagine having that creative liberty to make somebody who knows how to do impressions of like literally anybody for your fucking monkey bomb? Like for your little thing, your little device that you've created that somebody's gonna throw and it's gonna say some cheesy one-liners. That he could do any voice that you wanted. Fucking crazy.
So, but obviously for legal reasons, that's never released. But yeah, it was the idea of something that was kind of quirky. It was something that was a little bit. It's got like a dark edge to it, right? So it's got it's a symbol monkey that's got explosives on it. So that really kind of spoke to our kind of punk, kind of rock and roll aspect side of it that we really wanted to kind of get in there. And it was something that the sound department had, unsung heroes, pun intended.
Absolute unsung heroes, pun intended, of course. But the sound team, even through to Black Ops 7, have never missed. Never, ever, forever, never, bro. Honestly, if there's one little bit of Treyarch that still exists to this day in terms of like, the way it used to be, is definitely the sound team. Every rendition of Damned that has came out for every game, no matter if it's been shit or it's been like, as good as, Black Ops 3, yeah, they've always cooked. They're not just on Damned, on every like the Easter egg songs for the maps. They're just fucking amazing.
Was that the sound department were a very integral part of those early maps.
Right.
Again, certain directors know who they are. When I started doing with this, and our group started, the first people I go and see was the sound department.
Right.
Because they'd been so passionate about putting the Easter eggs into the past and having sound Easter eggs, if you will. And so they were like my first partner. I was like, okay, sound department is instrumental, instrumental in this, and stayed instrumental.
I still think, I mean, this is me talking, but like I have always assumed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like I've always assumed that the sound department was like a lot of early stuff like was them just having fun.
Yes.
And just going like, okay,
oh yes,
what if we did this weird sound? What if we did this and that could make something out of this and someone thinks that's really cool?
I will say this, right? When I first started going, the person that I actually wanted the approval from, they can laugh and they can send me a message later, was actually the sound department.
Yeah.
That was who
It must just be like the undisputed go-to Treyarch, man.
I actually was interested on whether we'd lived up to the zombie name, was if the sound department actually thought that we'd done something special.
That's amazing.
Because they were so passionate and enthusiastic about it. And so that's why I'd make sure we'd do our music videos, and I'd always ask them for the songs. Even later on when, those guys are working around the clock, and I'm like, you got to do a song? And they're like, not now. I'm like, no, you have to. They love doing that stuff. But, I would come and ask for a song every single time, and then I'd order music videos and so forth. Because I just felt that was the heart and soul of the mode, which was
it's kind of like the MVP award.
Yeah,
if I could give it as a fan, because I think sound is an interesting way to tell story without a crazy budget.
Well,
right.
So in the games industry, we say that sound is half your visuals. Right.
Fair enough.
So you want to get your sound department on side, because then your visuals are going to look better.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's going to feel better.
Yeah.
And
that's such a cool way to say that. Like, I don't know. This is something that I've noticed with Jason Blundell. He always talks so like majestically. Like this guy has a way with words, man, and it's fucking sick.
And the other person, I mean, it wasn't a group at that time. It was Craig, right? And I'll mention him briefly here, but he just got to let loose on this, and so I'd known him for a very, very long time, and we just started playing, and he did, he's doing all the writing. The thing that I can do is the permission to let's play.
Yeah.
Let's go, right? Let's get that space. Later on, our collaboration would get kind of tighter and so forth. But in these early days, it was the permission to play, the permission to have fun, the permission to kind of start to kind of spin the story out in a more fantastical way. Teleporting walnuts and so forth, right? It was all like, it was like, let's have a bit more fun. Let's open this world up. Right, in terms of, the whole hidden storytelling of radios and all this fun stuff, which again, something the sound department had done lots of. It's like, okay, let's do that, but now let's put a writer from the campaign world.
Right.
Oh, honestly, radios, they're not really something that I really, interacted with, because I was more of like, I started playing zombies properly like around BO3. And by then, the Easter eggs had already been established, like the concept of an Easter egg. So radios weren't really that interesting to me. But I will say that they were probably one of the most effective ways of story narrative and, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, show and not tell, or the concept I'm looking for, rather. So it's like you're not explicitly playing a fucking cutscene in front of them, every 5 seconds when they get to a checkpoint to tell the story. You're just doing it. And then, at the end of Black Ops 3, you'd get a cutscene. I mean, even in BO2, you didn't even really get a cutscene. It was more of just, you've lit the tower, and now when you move on to your other map, you've lit this tower, then there'll be a super Easter egg at the end or some shit. But you know what I'm trying to say here? I love the concept of radios, which is why I'm so confused at myself as to why I don't like Intel in in Cold War. Because radios were essentially what Intel is, but worse. Because Intel you grab and then you can view at the end of the game. Do you know what I mean? You can go and view it all and collect it. I mean, I don't really know how Intel works all that much. I've never really sat and, read through all of it in Cold War. And I think that is the biggest gripe with a lot of people, is that the entire story is told through Intel and not so much, you're doing the Easter egg and then, you know what I mean? It's I think a lot of people were very disheartened by the fact that a lot of it was based on Intel. And I think that's why the majority of it got scrapped going forward. But I do enjoy radios. I think they're cool, but I personally never really interacted with them because my little primate brain didn't care at the time. It was too busy trying to beat Revelations solo with fingers about the size of Cheetos. So,
and really kind of go to town, right? Because when we're doing a campaign, even like something like a Black Ops 1, where later on you might say, up to Black Ops 3 of absolute insanity, there's all that creativity. And you've got to channel it into a World War II game, or you've got to channel it into... So it's like, okay, zombies is the permission to kind of go further. We can go further. Yeah. But we've still got to, keep in mind that we're on Call of Duty, right?
So if you don't mind me asking, on that note, right? Like something that's near and dear to my... Oh, we got dog ground. Hell yeah. Speaking of
and again,
terrifying sounds.
That because we were like, Shinanuma did it, so
yeah,
we should have continuity into the series, right?
If you don't mind me...
Sorry to cut him off again, but yeah, no, continuity is one of my favorite things in storytelling. I love when there's little homages to different things in like movies or TV shows. For example, in a bit of a poor example, but it's the best one I can think of. It's like, so Men in Black 4, which came out, it wasn't recently, it was a while ago, but it came out, and then there's a nod to Kay and is it what's Will Smith's actor's character called? I think is it Jay? I'm not sure. but there's a photo, there's like a painted photo of them, and it pays homage to that. Or for example, in Better Call Saul, you know, the bits of fucking, you know, Jesse and Walter showing up in there, or like in El Camino and stuff. It's awesome. It's fucking sick. And even if continuity is done in flashbacks, which might sound like a contradiction, but I think it can be done, because at least you know that, you know, these characters did exist through these time periods, so they're continuing. Do you know what I mean? So for in El Camino and Breaking Bad, for example, when Jesse and Walter meet in that diner, you know this happened in Breaking Bad. Like there's no possible way for this to go on right now, which I think is really cool. But I love continuity, especially in COD Zombies. It's done really well. It's done really, really well throughout all of Black Ops 3. You know, the whole story relies off of continuity. Not so much BO4 in terms of the Chaos story. They kind of trying to start something new, but definitely with the Ether story, they wanted to end that off. But yeah, I just love continuity. Big fan.
Asking like for you guys, or like give me the perspective from you of, you know, you're coming into this thing. This is you're making Riese.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find out about like Samantha and all that kind of stuff? And it's like so do you hear about like, okay, you know, because to me those radios are so important to like the legacy of the mode. I feel like
this is something that I just wanted to clarify as well. I'm not saying radios are bad. They are very, very cool. But they just weren't particularly interesting to me. But like, yeah, they really did shape the foundations of the early COD Zombie story. So you got to give them credit for where credit's due. Do you know what I mean? They're a very simple but effective way to tell tidbits of story that don't have to be explicitly shown to the player. They can listen to it and interpret it as their own, how the situation went. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure the concept of Samantha and Maxis getting put in the teleporter with Fluffy was in a radio initially before it was in the Giants cutscene. Don't quote me on that, but I think it might have been. If someone in the comments wants to correct me, they can, but I think it was. I really do think it was. Or it might have been just in the lore, like in the Chronorium thing that they released, like how you can see everything that happened in that big timesheet.
So many ways the story really kicked off here, which is funny because the text on the map has always said, like, is this where it all ends? It's like, nuh-uh. So like, sorry, honey, there's way more down the road. But it actually, like, I feel like a lot of it began here and solidified. Maybe solidified is the right word.
Yeah.
Did you like, you hear about the Samantha concept and then you guys just go crazy and like and riff on it? Like, what's the vibe?
So obviously I could talk to Jimmy,
right.
Who's there. But in a weird way, I didn't want to too much because I knew I was taking something, and so I've got to be respectful of what's been done before, but I don't want to be beholden to it as well, right? So again, the place where I went to was the sound department because everything had gone through them. They'd heard every line of dialogue written because they did it.
Yep.
So when I talked to them, I was saying, what's your perspective on it? What are we hearing? And because they had already ingested stuff from the team that had worked on it before, they had this kind of shape in their mind, but that's where they were heading their audio Easter eggs for. So I was like, okay, I'll get on that train. Tell me what's kind of going on. Tell me what we're up to. I could always then seek clarification on little kind of, you know, bits and bobs in the past, right?
Right.
But I felt like they were the ones keeping the torch going, and in my mind, they would be the continuity if I put it down again. That, you know, I needed a group that I'd send it to, so that then if someone else picked it up. Again, the sound department would be the heart of this thing and would be able to move it forward. Right?
Gotcha. Okay. By the way, like, I was gonna ask you this, but like, do you, from a director's like standpoint, do you see power like this moment right here?
Yep.
Right? It's like the map goes from, hey, you've explored, you've found this thing. It's making such loud noise, drawing your attention to it. Do you kind of see this as like you're in Act 2 now of the flow of the game?
So that bridge coming down was a big deal.
Yeah.
I love this. Right. So I think this has always been one of the things with Riese that always catches my eye is this fucking bridge that comes down. There didn't need to be all that steam and shit for it to move. It could have just been a motor that just went and put it down. But no, it immediately draws your attention to it. As soon as you flick the switch, there's a bunch of fucking noises that you can't really hear about what's going on. You can hear zombies, you can hear voices. I'm pretty sure you can hear someone trying to say mainstream or live stream or some shit. It's something that I've always tried to deduce whenever I turn on the power in World at War. But there's just so much shit going on in your ears, and it does really feel like you've woke the map up. Do you know what I mean? This is how it's meant to be. Like, I think that's so cool, because when you're going about, when you first spawn in, there's a bunch of shit that you can't do. Like, what are these weird red boxes that have red lights on top of them? Why is there electric prongs there? Oh, that could be a trap or something. I don't know. That's not really my first thought, but some of the doors, like in Reese, I'm pretty sure the actual entryways that go into where the power switch is are closed off until you turn that on. It opens up both of those alleyways. You can run through now. It's just sick. It's really cool. I fucking love how he's acknowledging, and I love how JC's asking these questions, because I'm aware that this video's entirely about the design of Reese, but I just love hearing about it. I don't know. I hope this is a shared feeling. I think it's so fucking cool.
Told pretty early on, or designs told pretty early on, which is like, we can all be so dynamic. You remember this, these maps are not, these are made with brushes inside Radiant, right? It's not made like we make now with 3D package engines, right? So there's a lot of work to move stuff. And so if I'd said, well, okay, I want a dynamic map, they're like, woo. That goes against we've got to do it in this amount of time, Jason. So it's like, okay, well, how do we have it so that once you get to a certain point, then suddenly the way you approach the map now changes,
and you feel that satisfying moment. You get that like I feel like this like nowadays we always talk about like dopamine and stuff like that. It is a dopamine hit when you go up here and you do the thing, and you're like, okay, we did it. We got to that point. It feels like a milestone.
So we call it celebration. Right. So we talk about celebration. The first lift of a weapon is a celebration, right? How do you have a celebration moment? So the turning on the power is a celebration. How do we do particles? How do we do sound? Is something moving and catching your eye? There was a whole conversation about, if you press the button, are you not going to be able to see the bridge because you're looking too much at the thing?
Oh my god!
So that's why it's positioned to the right. That's fucking cool.
Is there a way we can set an angle up so that you can
that's
and immediately
sick.
see it? Because there was this worry that you'd flip the switch on and then not see the bridge come down, and we kind of miss the moment.
That's true, because like now I'm looking. Let me turn it down a little bit more because it's getting loud. I want them to hear you more in the game this time around, but like you could have put the switch here or here, but you put it on like the back side so you see the bridge. I never thought about that, but that's so true. Huh.
Right, and then also had trap setup as well.
Right. That's so interesting. I've never thought about that.
It's
really kind of weird, because I feel like there's, from the standpoint of like, we want you to turn on the power.
Yep.
You might want to put it when you first drop down, and you see it right there. But instead here it's the box, and this is just on the back side. It's kind of interesting.
There was a whole conversation about putting the magic box on that side and the power on the other side. So the power had to go there because we wanted the read of it.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, why are we putting the magic box here? It's like, because we're going to reward you for getting this deep into the map.
And we want to show you that first.
And we're going to show you that first, right? But we're holding you back for one more door, and then we're going to do the Bowie knife.
Right.
And then we're going to do the teleporter.
That's really cool. It's like there's progression in zombies, of course, but this is like, it's like dopamine progression. Do you know what I mean? They're hitting you with more shit the further you go, so you're enticed to go further up. That is so fucking cool.
That was the thought, which is like, okay, once you're into the central channel and you've made it this far, then it kind of rolls and puts you to the end, and then you just kind of, and now the world has changed. So when you come back, the next time you go out, the bridge is now connected. It's now a different flow.
Now another thing too, this is amazing. Chat, how you enjoying this, by the way? I love
this. Okay? Is this?
I love this.
Okay.
The only thing that I hate is I wish I had my own mic stand, because I feel like they can't hear me as well. But I am not important. People are not here to hear my thoughts on this. They're here to hear your thoughts on this. But I appreciate
The
you,
fucking
chat. Thank you so
going,
much.
man. Oh my god.
The thing I was gonna say,
It's like bringing me back to like a fucking E for C and stuff. Like I don't think there's been this much of a community united hurrah since like the glory days. You know what I mean? It always feels like now the zombies community, especially when I go on Twitter and stuff, it's just people fucking arguing over nothing. It's like genuinely arguing over like, reusing wonder weapons or some shit like that. That's why I'm so tone deaf to the zombies community at the minute. That's why when I talk about modern zombies, I might seem a little bit out of touch, because the furthest my knowledge goes for modern zombies is like in depth is like Cold War. Black Ops 6 I played a bit. I like Terminus. I think that was good, but I don't know. It's so nice to see the community just like really banding together here, and I don't think I've seen a lot of animosity towards Blundell at all. On Twitter, there'll be the odd person who's like, oh, well, he's not as good as people make him out to be. This guy can sit down here and talk about this map that is like fucking 6 doors, 7 doors, six or 7 doors big. I think it might be a little bit more than that. And there's so many little intricate bits of design, and he can sit and talk about it for hours. Like I'm not being funny. You got to give credit where credit's due. You're just kind of hating at this point. I don't see how anybody can hate on Blundell. I mean, I don't know. He's just the fucking GOAT. He really is.
We've talked about this a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Just in game design in general.
And let me tell you about those barrels.
What, these?
All of them. Those barrels about flow control. And so no objects are placed, like what we place down and you see as being artistic is actually us talking about flow control of the enemies and the player as well, right?
Yeah.
Because when you first get a space, you leave it deliberately wide and deliberately flat.
Right.
And then it's about shaping the actual flow. So if those barrels weren't there, it's a totally different experience. And the actual shape and where you put the barrels radically changes your experience.
It's so funny too, because this room's pretty big. Mm-hmm. If these weren't here, oh man, you'd just be.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Right. Every time you see a prop in these maps, it's not just a decoration prop. It's because we want to control something. We either want to do a split, or we want to just set you up for a 3-path, right? The old classic 3-path. Mm-hmm. Whatever we're going to do, if we're putting around the edge, also, we want to discourage because people do a lot of backup firing. Right. So when we kind of do that, we actually make things so it's a different shape. So you hit and then move and fall back.
It curves to like flow you around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this, right? Like it kind of has that curve.
That's actually something I don't think I would have fucking thought twice about. That's nuts. That's fucking crazy that these fucking barrels that I've genuinely paid about like probably 1 second of my attention to actually control so much of how Dury's plays. That's mental. Like, I mean, not even just the barrels, you know what I mean? Like, all the different props across the map. I'm trying to think of other ones I can think of. Like, the wall in between ZA, which is the teleporter with the mystery box location at the top where the MP40 is. There's that massive wall, and there's another door to get through. Like that alone controls flow. It makes it a bit more tighter.
Because a lot of people are backing up and firing, and they can't look where, we don't put a rear view mirror on it. So when you hit it, you know where you are to slide off.
Yeah. And you just don't, that's just a subconscious thing as well. Yep. That's really cool. Now the thing I want to mention too, if we go back to the beginning of the map, this is why I was taking so long to open the door, but I wanted him to keep going, chat. But like, we've talked about this a lot, but like in and out moments, right? So when you start in the map, you have some options. I love the choices that you have, right? Like you have this and you have this. And I do want to ask you a question about the choices in a second. But what I love is like you open this up, right? This door is closed. This is the power wall. That's blocking you. You have a couple of windows to take care of. You have a cool weapon here. And what I love is that, like, especially with how some of these doors are, you put like little like the way that these doors have like the windows through them, so you can kind of see like what the next room is. But you're like, oh, do I want to go in there? And it's like, and I can see that gun is through the. I'm pretty sure you can see the Thompson through the wall or through the door, through the little like slit in the window. Yep. And you have this moment where it's like, okay, again, outside, small room, bigger room inside, and it kind of surprises you. But then, and it's like, wait, in verticality, okay, I'm going up. Yep. And then it's like, okay, where am I going? I have options again. I have this. I can peer through and see things, or I can go this way, right? And it's like a drop down. It's like, what I love is like it's as simple as like you're giving me variety, right? You're giving me a variety of things I'm looking at, things I'm thinking about, and the moment of opening a door, especially back in the day in a map like this, felt so impactful with like the discovery nature, because you didn't know, like we didn't know, I didn't know what zombies was too much back when Riese was happening. It was like it could be anything. I don't know what they're gonna do, and
that could be one of the reasons why I think like modern zombies doesn't really intrigue me all that much. Maybe I just like know the mode too well. Maybe I know what to expect behind the doors now. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people give modern zombies flack because it doesn't feel the same. But is it really you that doesn't feel the same about the mode? You have been playing it a while. This is something that I've had to come to terms with, is that I've been playing this game since I was like fucking 6 years old. So I've been playing it for like 12 years of my 13 years of my life now. I love it a bit. I absolutely love it. But like, you know, maybe we are just a bit tired of zombies, and that's why the argument that maybe it should have a little break, and it would probably do it the world of good, could, you know, come into play. And I think this was something that I think was touched on when Infinity Ward were going to take over for Modern Warfare 3. People were saying that zombies was going to go for I think it was like a 1 or 2 year break, but that never happened because they made Treyarch make MW3 Zombies, which was shit in my opinion. Anyway, I didn't really enjoy it. It was like DMZ Zombies. It was kind of fucking ass. I didn't really enjoy it, but I digress. Anyway, maybe the problem is us in some aspects of modern zombies. I'll never hate on anybody for liking modern zombies, but it's not my cup of tea, and that's why the majority of my videos are surrounded by the classics.
Opening a door and just seeing what the room was, and then just being like, wait, how big is it? Wait, hold on. There's a secret room? Oh my god, there's another thing in here? What is this thing? Like, the sort of variety of like making sure rooms back to back are not the same, I think is like really, really important. And just for me as like just like level design and stuff, just in general with games, I really love like doing that thing where it's like, okay, now we narrow you in, and now we show something wide again, and now we narrow you in, and now we show you something wide again. And that's something that like I don't know, you were always like telling me to
let me tell you where I got my inspiration from. One of my favorite directors is a director called Irving Kershner. And he directed Empire Strikes Back.
Nice. Yeah.
And if you look at Empire Strikes Back,
Emmy's gonna be so happy.
Why it feels different from the other ones is he using the Hoth base and so forth. He brings you in tight, it's going to show you claustrophobia, and then he then kind of counterpoints it then with a wide open space. And what it tells you is that the universe is big, the world is big, right? So then when you go to Dagobah later on, again you're going wide kind of shots, and then you go inside Yoda's house, tight again, right? And what you're doing by kind of changing the kind of the framing, you now feel like there's a world of possibility. Now, the statement I made before, which was, well, I got this geo, that's all we kind of got. You can do that with texture and color and lighting. You can also do it with the geo as well to make it kind of more claustrophobic. But what you're trying to do is, with those things, you can make it feel like tighter here and then wider here, even if the actual footprint is roughly about the same.
Right.
That's why I think just like video games as a whole are super cool. Yeah, excuse the loud ass fucker going past my house. I don't know if it's gonna get picked up on my mic, but yeah, I had to pause to think there because I actually couldn't think over the sound of his fucking twin turbo engine. That's why I think video games are so cool, because it's like they're like films that you could control. So there's so many things like techniques that must transfer over. I think probably every technique transfers over, because at the end of the day, filmmaking and video game creation, that you're making worlds. Do you know what I mean? You're making worlds for us to see through the eyes of the camera, and the only difference between video games and films is that you control them, which is why video games are so fucking cool. They are. That's the main reason why I like them anyway, because they are like films that you can control. It's why like Telltale games, for example, like The Walking Dead, it's why they work so well, because it's literally just like watching a TV show that you have control over. It's awesome.
You want it to feel more claustrophobic. So for instance, over where the furnace is, and it's darker with the dark reds, deep reds, it feels tighter, it feels closer.
Because it feels more chaotic because of the color.
Yeah, no, the space is not wide open, but it then feels more claustrophobic, right?
That's interesting. Because like you get like sort of like the more like blue tone out here when you're a little bit more like safe.
Yeah, and you're doing it with a limited palette because you've got a limited set of textures here, right? And again, that's something that the art director is obviously kind of coming in and directing. But that feeling of you can imagine this facility can get very samey very quickly. And so what really good art directors, which Treyarch have, was about kind of controlling the experience. Why does that look like that? Why is that specular highlight on that filing cabinet so hot? Because we just went through a neutral space.
Right.
So I need to put a bright thing there around the corner. Right. So he'll talk about turning up the intensity there, so there's always something catching the eye. And what you want to do is wherever you are, there's something that's drawing the eye to the next place. And what you'd ideally want is 2 to 3 of them. Now that can sometimes be a fire burning, it could be a light down a corridor, it could be the color of the green thing on a trap, right? But we're looking and saying, okay, what's catching the eye at this point? You never want to look out and basically just have a neutral experience.
Right.
You've got to have something that leads you.
Well, see, that's so one of my favorite games of all time. It's Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
But it's actually something in like all the Fallout games.
Shout out, man.
But I don't know why I always just think of Fallout New Vegas a lot. And I would say that Breath of the Wild also is a good example of a game that does this really well, right? Like anywhere you go in like Fallout New Vegas, they always say that too. It's like you want like a POI to catch your attention, and there's probably like you said, like probably about 2.
Yep.
Or 2 or 3 or whatever.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can see with Riese, I don't know, he's probably going to comment on it, but like the biggest one that I can think of an example of that is not really the trap light that he was on about. When you're going up to ZC after you've turned on the power, which is the first teleporter that you're probably going to interact with, unless you go the opposite way, to which you're going to have a very bad time because you've not turned on the power, so you can't link them. But fuck, I've lost my train of thought. This is bad. Oh yeah, no. The biggest example for that of me is that there's this massive fucking massive blue spire glowing at the top of the window that's been smashed in, at the top of that building where the teleporter is, where the STG is, and you can see it like pulsing and glowing and shit. And it's like, oh well, what is in there? I'm gonna open the door and find out. And then you're rewarded with the Bowie knife for doing that. It's fucking awesome.
2 or 3 things that like tempt you, and then and if you're playing Breath of the Wild, the shrines everywhere, it catches your eye so easily. We're like, well, I gotta keep playing because I see something that catches my eye that way, and I gotta go over there because that looks interesting. And I don't know what it is about that. Like it is 2 to 3 things. I don't know why is that the magic rule. I don't know.
So if you start studying like neuropsychology and so forth, you realize that they teach that perception. There's a series of stages your brain goes through to actually understand an image, right?
Right.
It starts off with something called the primal sketch, which basically just has outlines and overlaps.
Right.
But then texture, lighting, right? And your brain then starts working out what's in front of what. There's certain rules. That's how optical illusions work, because our mind's configured to understand certain things, right? So you start thinking about color theory. You start talking about, blinking things, moving things, right? Primary colors.
Sorry.
Nice.
The biggest overlap that I have for me, at least, when it comes to like this, when you're talking about color theory, the thumbnails that I make, ever since I actually met one of my friends who's been really helping me tone things up for the channel, he's taught me a lot about creating thumbnails, and a lot of the thumbnails that you see on YouTube use the same color theory that what they do in films. They use the same color theory as what they do here and what he's talking about. It's like, for example, contrasting colors are amazing for thumbnails. It's like why the half and half thumbnail, especially in the zombies community, where you've got like game 1, game 4, they'll be like orange and blue. Or you've got, for example, red and blue are also a good pair of contrasting colors. That works great because it stops your scroll. When you're on YouTube, you'll be flicking through, and then if you see something that catches your eye, like contrasting colors, it'll stop your scroll. Or another example is what I've been doing more personally is using emotion, which is through using characters. For example, I've been using Richtofen, and they've been holding. I think the best example was the one with Misty. That's my best thumbnail that I've done in so long, where she's holding this question mark block, and it complements the video title as well. I think the title of that video was "Can you beat every Black Ops 2 Easter egg with a randomizer?" Now that question mark block on its own without that title wouldn't really make much sense, but they complement each other and it works great. I love how so much of this transfers over into stuff that I can sort of relate to. This guy, Jason, obviously knows far more about the actual, fucking neuroscience behind it, but it's just really interesting. It is very, very interesting.
And, when you're working with a limited kind of set, it was like, that's where the conversations were, which was like, okay, well, we can't do the same gag again. Let's do the light coming through the window, and we're going to highlight the God rays, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to artificially boost it, because we don't have anything else to draw attention in that corner. And we just used the green thing before for the perk machine. Yep. So what we're going to do around this corner. And so that's where we're going to go around and say, okay, this at this point draws your eye. This at this point draws your eye.
Oh, dude, I love that stuff so much. Because, there's so... if you get into the flow state playing a map, it's so just...
If you do it right, they shouldn't be conscious of it.
Right.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right? If it's like going, come over here, we've failed already. It's like it should run around and just... Hopefully they're not noticing what we're doing, right? Well, that's the goal of art. Good art.
I mean, this is kind of where I think modern zombies falls flat for me, because that whole hi over here, come look over here, that falls flat on its face, what he's just said there, when you've got a massive fucking marker telling you where to go. That's the biggest problem that I have with modern Easter eggs, is that even though you've got like guided mode and stuff like that now, you know, it just doesn't feel the same, because at the end of the day, you've still got a big marker telling you where the fuck to, you know, find the parts for power and stuff like that. Like that's why I know he's talking about more about art direction here, but in terms of that, you know, that show not tell aspect has been really lost from zombies, and I think that's part of the reason why it might intrigue me less. And I keep going back to this point, but it's very important to me anyway.
Art direction.
I'm sure you know there's always like a debate in the game industry of like, I'm sure you've seen the yellow paint debate.
No, I've not.
Do you know what I'm talking about? There's I think it's a big debate around accessibility versus like do you make it accessible to find where you need to go as quickly as possible, or do you make them, or do you do it subconsciously like you're talking about, or do you do it in a way of like, no, you figure it out? There's like levels to it, right?
But the answer to that is it all depends what you're trying to do. So because each one of those has its place.
Right.
If I'm making a campaign, I'm going to use certain techniques because I'm making a campaign. If I'm making zombies, I'm going to use different techniques.
Right.
It's like there's a great book by the author Bruce Block, who talks about the visual language, right? And it talks about things like, you know, diagonal lines are the highest tension line you can represent, right? So diagonals are used in movies. You're going to show a bad guy in the background. There's diagonal lines to show that he's the bad guy. High tension,
like triangles and stuff too.
Yeah, you know, like vertical lines, horizontal lines have, you know, horizontal line is the most passive line. Vertical line basically tells you about direction. Diagonal tells you about danger. Right?
Yes.
And so, and Bruce goes through
That's
all these
so
amazing
wild.
things. But
I have to go all the way around because I want to show you my.
That is so fucking. There were different orientations of lines convey different emotions subconsciously. That's fucking nuts.
Camping spot. So I'm gonna see if I can do this.
But those concepts and those ideas, especially when you're doing a very small map, which, you know, when you compare this to, let's say, a Shadows of Evil, this is so focused. And we're like, okay, how do we give quality, but with a very tight, footprint. We had to go to those thoughts and those discussions.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's see. Oh, back to this, because I did want to ask you about this. By the way, love that you guys just like positive reinforcement, reward the player for teleporting.
Yep.
Give them a little goodie. Sometimes it might do something weird. It just adds to this like chaotic nature to the game.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. Love it. The smoke coming out of this, teasing you, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" And again, like, was that the reason why the first read is looking at it? Because you wanted us to see this.
Yeah, you want it
first go.
How do you set up a goal without telling people it's a goal? So in a campaign, you have to tell
them. Right in front of it.
You put it right in front of it, and you show it closing, because if it can close, it can open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. If it started, there's a whole debate about.
Something that I'm noticing is that there's very simple techniques. Like, one of the things that I actually went on a trip recently with my friends, and I went to go see them, and I was doing some thumbnails with them because they're YouTubers, right? They're my YouTuber friends. They are people I hang around with because of YouTube and because I like them, because they are my mates. One of the best ways one of my buddies put it was that you want to treat your viewer kind of like that Patrick Star. And I'm not calling you stupid. I'm saying that before you're watching the video, you're kind of in this. Your brain's kind of in this mode where it's like, I want to be told explicitly what this video is about, and if I don't know what it's about and it doesn't interest me, I will not click on it. So, for example, that's why you make your thumbnails have like a focal point of interest. Like, for example, if I go back to that one with Misty in the randomizer mod video that I did, there is a focal point of the cube. Like, she is in the thumbnail, and there's a bit of pattern recognition there as well. That you'll notice that, oh, she's from zombies and she's holding something. Oh, it's a bit random. Oh, it's a randomizer mod. Oh, that interests me. I'm gonna fucking click it. So that's really interesting, because there's a lot of these techniques again tying over into content creation. I guess maybe a lot of performing arts stuff as well. I mean, well, not so much music because it's very not so much visual, but a lot of the visual stuff that he's talking about here translates to pretty much any industry. I'd say so. It's very, very cool. Like any visual industry, anyway. It's very, very fucking cool.
And you're talking about a world of possibility. Then you start going into the Easter eggs and all that other fun stuff, right?
And then you go open.
Right. So then you're now setting up a world of possibility.
Yeah.
Like the Easter eggs, the kind of the beginning of the ciphers and so forth was Again, we talk about the Charlie bucket, right? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? The idea that it could be you. You could find something, right? And with the idea of that kind of rock and roll, kind of anti-authority kind of vibe going on a little bit, like the developers are a little bit running the asylum a little bit, that feeling. You want to make it so that when things are being found, there's, well, if it's this, what else is there?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a very important, and it was like, how do we do that without looking cheesy, without looking like we are deliberately doing it? How does it feel organic? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude. It's. Oh man, I just love like me and my buddy Liam, as you know Liam.
Yeah.
Me and Liam have
Quavers.
talked a lot about how, and again, I think like obviously, I don't think, I know if I ask you this question, you're gonna go, we didn't realize how iconic Doris would be.
Sure.
'Cause of course, like you just wouldn't
Absolutely
know,
not. No.
right?
God, no.
But to us, like,
Our goal was don't mess it up. That's how we. That's where I was.
it's so funny because it like excelled everything so much, and even like when it comes to like Pack-a-Punch, and when it comes to like just the amount, like there's more depth to the experience in my opinion. It sort of like changed our like psychology of how we played. Like it changed the vibe of how we loaded in, because it was like a world of opportunity, like you're saying. When you Pack-a-Punch and you see that it does something, the game doesn't even tell you what it does, really.
That's why I wanted the pistol to fire rockets, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so cool.
That was a big.
I was
remember
just
the
about to
conversation
say
about
that.
was really, Jay, and I was like, yeah, because when you do that, it
Then
says what else could happen.
Yes.
So the whole point about making the pistol fire rockets was take the thing that, and by the way, I love the underdog anyway.
Yeah.
So the idea being the pistol is one of the most powerful
Yeah.
things you can get. I was like, okay, that really F's with them, because it basically says if that's possible, what else is possible?
Yeah,
Right.
and then you go, okay, well maybe the M1A1 carbine, maybe it can do some. Oh my God, shoots automatic? What?
Well, because
like
we were having conversations like, maybe if you jump up and down 3 times, spin round and press X on this wall, something special happens. It's like, okay, everything we do should be setting up that is a completely viable thing for you to try.
That's so cool.
there's your
you go.
baby, by the way.
Right as you open the door, right?
Right there.
Yep.
Oh,
And then you got the clock, right? And you got the clock, and the clock is setting up the idea of the cycle,
What?
stop,
because the clock is stuck in time.
stop.
Bro, fuck off.
Dude, you know how old this map is so old, Jason. It's so old.
So the
like
concept-
like
so the
you're
con-
telling me you're setting that up then?
Well, no, because we hadn't finished the idea, but the concept was, in the same way I said that Pack-a-Punch was about extending time, right?
Right.
You can play
No
longer,
way.
right? Well, then Afterlife is the finishing of that idea, which is, okay, so your weapons take you longer. Now death doesn't slow you down, so now I've got you even longer, right? So
Right.
you could look at,
Afterlife is a Mob of the Dead.
you could do a dotted line between the Pack-a-Punch
Yeah.
and Afterlife and see it as a kind of continuation of an idea, right?
Holy shit.
Damn.
But the idea being of, what do we want you to do? This is apropos. We want you to play again. We want you to get yourself up, dust yourself off, and play again, right? And the idea of time being paused or stopped was the idea that you just got to keep going. You got to do it again. You got to do it again. Because what things won't be right until you've achieved it, right? So that's why the clock was.
Oh my god, wait, I've just watched that go by in chat. Is that why the Mob of the Dead plane's on top of there? That's the only way. I mean, there's no lore explanation as to why the Mob of the Dead plane's there, right? It's just fucking there. And it's there on Shadows as well. Is Shadows a cycle? No, it's not, but it does fly over on Shadows, which and them two maps are linked in lore. Those are in the same dimension. I know that because of the there's a bunch of shit. There's like Finn O'Leary's whiskey. There's the Sal DeLuca note or something for the fucking clean, and when you lob the grenade to get the extra 500 points. I think it says Sal's name on it. They are definitely linked, so that's why the plane is there. But Mob of the Dead has a cycle. The Mob of the Dead plane's on the Giant. It has no story significance in the Ether storyline. That's the only reason why that's fucking nuts. Whoever sent that message needs. Oh, bro, that's crazy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Chat went, Cinema. Oh, by the way, there it is. Sorry, I missed the door closing or opening.
Oh yeah, one more thing, by the way, before we let the video play again. I wanted to say that, so it was just the fact that this has been going on for so long. Like this has been going on, like, since, oh my god, he didn't plan out the cycle, you know what I mean? But the concept of a cycle in zombies has already been deep-rooted in Riese, like, from, what, fucking 2009? Like, that's nuts, man. That's fucking crazy.
See what we get out of this really fast. Oh, perfect. So good. It's such a simple thing, just putting a little power up there. Mm-hmm. Like, it's one of those things that...
Well, again, these restrictions, and you see that a lot in campaigns. Restrictions is where the creativity comes from. It's actually harder when you look at some of our later maps where we had a bit more time, or actually not much more time, but a bit more resource or a bit more, something else. They became hard in a different way.
Right.
Because...
Oh, God. Oh, God. Don't worry.
Oh, you got you.
No. I don't have anything on. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that, like, the bigger resources actually makes more of a challenge in a different way.
Right. Because then it's like, well...
When you don't...
When it's blue sky, you're like, wait...
Well, yeah, where
do we go?
When it's blue sky, that's why my job as a director pretty quickly is to put limits and put a box around things as quickly as possible. Because if you have blue sky, the blank page, you can go forever. It's like software that doesn't have restraints around it never gets finished, right? Because you're like, well, I could always do that. I'll do that.
Do you have a map that you feel like was too blue sky? Like, do you feel like it did?
Yeah.
Origins. I really think he's gonna say Origins, but I don't know.
Like, you wish there was maybe even more constraints on it?
Oh, man, I mean...
I know it's kind of weird, because, like, you always don't want to, like... In the moment, you don't want to be like, oh, I want to... Like, I don't want to, like, make it lesser than we're thinking, but...
it's like... No map is a pure experience. It's a product of the people working on it, the mood and the things that were going on at the time, right? So it's like this kind of time capsule, right? So... people look at games or levels and go, oh, this is the best map, or this is the best, game or level and so forth. Right. It's a moment of time of a bunch of creative people working. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the restrictions or where they're at or what's happening is captured. I've talked about this.
Transit. That's one of the biggest examples of that there. Transit. For a moment captured in time. That map is a product of its time. It is. Zelensky had just taken over direction for zombies. I can't remember if was he leader for the BO1 as well. I'm not sure, but BO2 was Zelensky's most profound work on the Victor storyline, in my opinion. It's what I remember him for anyway. For Buried, Transit, and Die Rise. Now, a lot of people don't like Transit, and that's because it's very fucking annoying. In a lot of aspects, because they had the console limitations of the fog. They had the denizens or whatever, but I find Transit can be pretty enjoyable if you turn the fog off, which is something that we're allowed to do now. So, like, the animosity towards that map, it actually was of its time period as well, back in 2012 or whenever the fuck BO2 was released. Do you know what I mean? That's an awesome way of putting things. Because, like, I can still agree that Transit's got its fucking flaws. It's too big. The jet gun it's just fucking scattered about everywhere. It breaks. It's shit. The Easter egg shit. But, it's fucking awesome to see, that acknowledgement that, we argue constantly over what game's better, what map's better, when they are all products of their time. So it's kind of, you can't say that one map is better than the other when, it's subjective in that matter, because, like, you can say that, fucking Alpha Omega is worse than Der Eisendrache, but if you think of all the constraints that Black Ops 4 had in terms of budget, getting its budget cut and shit, they managed to make something out of what they had, whereas Der Eisendrache had a shit ton of budget and it was great. You know what I mean?
Idea that I truly believe that, if you cook with love, the food tastes better, right?
Right.
Well, in the same way, that passion gets captured in these moments. Not just in the creation of the individual items, but what you can and can't do, and then the ingenuity and creativity to overcome those problems. That's what these maps then become. That's when you talk about the spirit or the soul of a map or a campaign, it's capturing those drives. When I look at this map, what I see is the faces of all the people who did it, and I know that when they touched that, they came up with that. That's how that worked, right? I remember the conversations. And what makes me very happy is the vibe that's created is the personality of the people who worked on it and kind of created it. And so that's
so
why
cool.
even maps that the community might say, oh, this is not so much of our favorite. Right. I look at it and go, it's special to me.
This is not so much of our favorite. That is a very, very light way of putting this is fucking shit. The zombies community is really harsh when it comes to describing things that they don't like, is something I've noticed. They're very vocal as well. I think a lot of game communities are pretty vocal, but I think we're very vocal because we know Treyarch will respond on Twitter or whatever, or they will just get some sort of response. But yeah, no, like we are pretty aggro sometimes, and I think you've got to take a step back and realize people are still pouring their heart and soul into this shit. You know, it might not look like it, but the developers, at least, not so much Activision where they just want to monetize everything. The developers have to frame themselves around these guidelines that Activision give them to monetize these games, and they're just doing what they can to make the games good within the time frame that they have. That's why there's so many reused assets. Like in Shattered Veil, when they reused the Mark IIs, like the idea of making elemental Mark IIs. Yes, it's been done before, might be a little bit redundant, but although I didn't like a lot of Black Ops 6, I thought Shattered Veil was pretty good. I didn't like it at the time, and I've still got a little bit of animosity towards it just because I think the fucking Easter egg's really difficult for a modern zombies map. But I haven't really had a chance to go back and play Black Ops 6 too much because of my whole internet situation and the game being always online. That is something that I fucking hate, by the way. But yeah, I mean, Shattered Veil is a good example of a zombies map that's clearly had a lot of love poured into it. But there's some constraints around what they can actually do because of Activision's guidelines in terms of monetization. So that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. And I think that you've got to respect the fact that there are people behind these, and there are design choices that have been had conversations over, in the studios, probably still today. I'd imagine Ash has probably had fucking thousands of conversations about what should go where, or at least I hope it did anyway. Otherwise, the quality might have gone down the shitter a bit. But you've just got to calm down a bit. That's the main takeaway from this. Just calm down a bit when you're getting heated over a zombies map. 'Cause I've been there. I remember there was some videos I was doing back in the day when Modern Warfare 3 was released, and I was fucking raging. I was like, how could you? This is my secret mode. When in reality, it's not my mode. It's theirs, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with it, and I can be mad about it, or I can respect the fact that someone's made this map with a bit of time. Maybe it's not so much love anymore, but it's definitely took them time because they're fucking stretched to shit. You just gotta acknowledge the fact that somebody made this, and if you don't like it, don't play it. That's the homage rule that I've gone by for now. I'll play games if I have to, if I'm doing like a video where I'm doing every Easter egg or something, but that's besides the point. If I don't like a game outside of, for example, when I'm recording, I will not play it. It's as simple as that. It's why I haven't bought Black Ops 7. Nothing about that game interests me, so I choose not to buy it. And that's my right. But if I bought the game, played it, and kept playing it and whinge about it, that's when there's a problem.
Looks a certain way when I look at it. But so the end of each map, you always go, I could have done that different. Like, yeah, but you almost don't want to because it's a special moment in time, right?
Yeah, it's like there's beauty in the constraint of it.
Absolutely,
right?
100%.
And you've told me this before. It's like the hardest thing is almost putting the pencils down.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you have to have that moment at some point, right, where you go, okay, no, it's done, it's locked.
Yeah, I used to have to send like the team home, right? So you do a big several hundred-man team. As you're coming into land, you start sending them home. It's very strange for kind of business people because they say, what do you mean? We're paying them to, have them sit at home, because them actually being in the studio is now damaging now. Because as you get to the end, they want to put more and more and more and more and touch more and more.
Right.
At the same time, you're trying to bring your bugs down and come into landing, and you got to be like, you cannot touch a keyboard anymore. You've got to go away. And that, by the way, they are some of the most talented people in your team.
Yes.
You have to send away first in a weird way. Because they're just like, oh my God, I can see it, and we just need this and just this. Let me just do this one check-in. I just want to do this one more check-in.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you need to go home.
It's like, go home, but lovingly so.
Lovingly so, yeah. Lovingly so. But, and again, as a game comes to the end...
That must suck. That must actually suck. Because I can definitely see myself in that kind of situation. If I had the chance of working a fucking zombies map, I don't want to put all sorts in there. Oh, God. Oh, that's really sad, actually, to think about. That some ideas might have just got cut because they just needed to stop. Do you know? That's weird.
Suddenly you're seeing it, right? You're exhausted because it's so tiring. It takes so much of you, but you're exhausted, and then that's why guys want to then do more. Because suddenly it's exciting. You remember they'd had multiple years of working on it where it looked like grey boxes and it looked like crap.
Right.
And just as it's coming to the end, it starts to look like a game, and you're like, oh my god. Right, that's when, and then it's like, and you need to go home. Like, what? It's not looking good. It's like, yeah, you need to stop now.
I feel like a lot of my my game dev career has been seeing gray blocks.
Good. Here's the thing: get used to it, because the majority of development looks like that.
Right? It's crazy, chat. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna have to. Let me. I do want to ask you this.
We're gonna do the catwalk.
We should, but I'll get to that in a bit. I want to do something first before I put myself in the prime position.
Maps on the wall as well that you'll see later in Mob of the Dead, right? Let's put a map on the wall. Let's highlight the location.
Does that happen in Doris? No, it is, right?
Go back in.
Was it?
Go back in.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, back in your teleport room.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I always love when you guys did that.
Now, and I'll say where the inspiration for this is, right? Which was an English TV show. Called The Crystal Maze.
Oh my fuck! I love this shit. This is awesome. I used to watch this shit with my parents all the time. I fucking love The Crystal Maze. Oh, that's awesome. I forget Blundell's British sometimes. I love The Crystal Maze so much. It was hosted by some guy called oh fuck! It was a bald guy. Hang on, let me pull up the fucking the facts here. Yeah, it was this. I fucking loved this shit. It was basically, yeah, I can't remember this guy's name. What is his name? Oh, come on, what is his name? One of these articles has got to have it. I don't know. But there was a reboot of it with this guy from the IT crowd. But yeah, it was this guy. He was so cool. It was like a game show where they would go into different areas, like is this the best example of it? Yeah, look, there was different like sub areas of different, challenge rooms. So there was like the Aztec area, there was the dome where they went for the final thing, there was the futuristic zone, there was the industrial zone. Yeah, this is a better example. So you got Aztec, Ocean. This got changed out for this got changed out for industrial in some period of time. But yeah, as you can see here, I know way too much about this show. Like, this is the map I'm most familiar with. I remember watching this all the time as a fucking kid. But yeah, that is so cool because in between every single zone, there would be this bit where they go like dun 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 dun, and then they would go into different zones and it would show you on the map, be like, you are here. That is so cool. And the fact that that's where it's inspiration from, that's so awesome. That's made my day. Honestly, I loved that show as a kid.
Which I loved as a kid, and I used to watch. And the idea was that these contestants would run in and go, "I don't know what to do." And like poor Richard O'Brien who did the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He'd be stood outside.
Richard O'Brien, that's his name.
These people, right? And so the idea is and they'd walk in and go, "Okay, I can see a map on the wall." And like that was the idea.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I think y'all did it for like. Y'all did it for. I know you did it for Mob. I know that you guys did it for
Kino.
I mean, it's in a lot of.
You did it in a couple, yeah.
I think I always thought it was a very good sign that the layout was pretty cool, because if you're showing it off, that means you're kind of proud of it a little bit. You know what I mean? But I want to ask you,
because we were worried if it was going to be too complicated. Yeah, we were genuinely worried by it.
I love that. I love that so much. So when it comes to like the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Did you expect 50% of people to go that way and 50%? Like, was that your goal? Was we want to balance the map left to right the best that we can? Or did you guys because I'm going to be honest, again, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But I do go this way. But that might be.
I go that way too.
That's me.
Yes.
Someone might be different than me, right?
Yeah.
But I'm curious
I don't think it's 50-50. I really don't think. I don't. It cannot be 50-50. Every time I play Doris go through that, I don't know a person that doesn't go that way. Maybe I just don't know a lot of people, but I don't know a person that plays Doris and goes through the left side. I feels like there's more shit on the right side that can help you. For example, you've got the Thompson, and you've got a perk over there, but the power will be off, so it's not really too much help. I mean, they got the shotgun. It is just a better site to go down, I feel. I don't know. I mean, again, that might just be my preference. I don't know. That's interesting.
Like, the design standpoint of Doris, especially, like back in the day, it's like, were you guys trying like you'd watch like play tests or whatever, and you're like, okay, so actually they're going this way too much, and we want it to be like half and half.
No, we weren't. So later on, analytics and this stuff became very important, right? Really kind of looking at play tests and really kind of talking about it. But in these stages, because we were going so fast we weren't very data driven, we were just doing our best, right?
Right.
What we kind of thought. It's interesting because this geo, when you're looking at it, we had to put walls up. You can look at the original geo. There's a conversation like, where do you put the door? So if you stand at the top, this door is further back and this door is further forwards, right?
Right.
And the thing that you're looking at won't open. So if you stand on the Pack-a-Punch and you look straight forward, you look at something that looks like it might be like, oh, maybe I can go that way, right? You can't.
Like that.
Yeah, you can't go that way.
Right.
Right. But then the door to the left is at the back, and this one's at the front. And so what you're doing is this thing. Have you ever? I'm going to do an optical thing. If I had like, I'm going to put a $10 bill in my hand, and I did this and said, which one do you want? $10 in one of the hands.
You naturally want to. Well, I don't know. Now I think it's a trick.
Exactly.
Oh.
So you've got a door that's forwards and a door that's back.
Right.
Right. And then if you're consciously thinking about it, you're like, just a minute, one door is more prominent than the other door. Some people will go with the prominent door, and the others will say, you're trying to make me second guess and go with the recessed door. But it's not equal. Because if you wanted to say equal, then it's basically 50-50, pick a door.
Right.
But the fact that you do that...
It makes it more interesting.
It's like, what are you trying to do?
So you're telling me the door that you pick on Riese the door that you pick on Riese in the spawn room tells more about your personality than what a fucking, I don't know, like a questionnaire could. Because, you know, what he's saying there is that you're more likely to pick the prominent one because it's the safer option. So you're telling me the people that pick the left are more risk takers? That's so interesting. That is so interesting.
Trying to bluff me? Trying to double bluff me? It's a bit of Princess Bride, right?
Yeah, and weirdly it makes you think of the choice more.
And you're making an asymmetry, which is more visually interesting.
Right.
And when you turn back the opposite way, that door becomes prominent and that becomes recessive. So if you run towards the place where you can't go, you've just swapped it round. So if you stand up at Pack-a-Punch, that way, and if you stand with the back to the fence, it's the opposite way.
What?
Right? Because that door is now behind you, and that door to the right becomes more prominent if you stood where you run straight forwards.
Right.
You didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, because when you stand here,
then it's that way.
Yeah.
Oh my
this
god.
Thing becomes less important.
Yeah. Because this is the most easy accessible thing. Because you have to run this way and do a like.
And at the beginning,
you have to do a weird turn to even get on that one.
Well, at the beginning, we're like, okay, that's why there's two windows on those two sides there.
Right.
Because when you run to the back and then turn around, you're made acutely aware that there's two entrances that you're now facing. Right.
Yeah.
But we're actually hiding the one down the stairs, so you can't see, so you're not safe, right? So you can see
Right.
the two
So
there, but
cool.
you know there's one that could just come around the corner at you.
Right.
Which is why standing at the fence is not a good place to be.
Wow. I'm just again. This is why I wanted to ask, because like this spawn room is so iconic to me, and I'm trying to understand why. I'm trying to understand like what it was that made me love this so much.
It's the asymmetry of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that at each point it's pulling your eye a certain way.
Right.
Either using the sparking of the generators that pulls your eye that way, right? Or firelight.
Or the windows in the back.
We're putting the light underneath the stairs was important. There.
Why was that important?
So
because otherwise it was too dark there, and
you don't even see the. You might lose the staircase.
So that's why we put the light underneath the stairs there, right?
Is this not crazy?
Yeah.
This is just Riese. We're not even talking about mob.
Oh
or
my
anything.
fucking god. No, like that's a really good point. Can you? Oh wow. What the hell, bro? The explanation for like fucking Blood of the Dead or Revelations or something is gonna take fucking days.
A bit longer.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know. Is this too nerdy? I don't know if these guys.
No.
Is this what they want?
This is like.
Oh bless him, man.
I wonder if my stream looks like it's kind of lagging a little. Is it fine, chat? Let me know. If as long as it's good to watch, decent enough, right? But it's fine. Everything's good. So make sure. Okay. Because so like World at War is it's an older game now, and so it's kind of hard to stream. There's like some like screen tearing and things like that with the modern capture cards and things like that.
The Pack-a-Punch camo, that was a thing as well.
Dude, it was, oh my God. I can't even tell you the amount of theories we had about that.
Yeah.
Oh my freaking God.
And it's high detail, so you get a little bit of aliasing on it, which is why you get little sparkles every so often.
Yeah, it looks almost like it's crystal, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Because it was just such high detail
nice camo. Such a nice camo.
Right.
Normal map, right?
Here's the spot, by the way. So we would keep this door closed. We would have one guy, this poor guy, would be like, all right, sorry, man, you're the window. You're not gonna have as much fun as we are in the front.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be here, and we have the rest of the team basically like just. This was like our own catwalk. And what's funny is we did this thing where, and this is how you know Riese was just peak, right? We did this thing where like the catwalk was the strat that a lot of people knew about the catwalk strat.
Yep.
We wanted to be different because, as we all know, our favorite thing to do, chat, is be contrarians and act like we hate the thing that everyone loves.
Yeah.
So my friends would be like, no, the catwalk, no, like let me show you this. We're not doing the catwalk today. We are gonna be contrarians, and what we're gonna do is we're hide back here. We have this window thing. Like, you watch that, it's all fine. But the good thing, I will say, if you do this, you have escape routes. The catwalk you really don't as much, because you have to push out to get out and drop back down. But the good thing about this spot is, like, if you do get overrun, then it's like, all right, is it time? And then you have your one buddy, it's like, I'm gonna do it, and you're like, oh God.
So there was a conversation here about whether we should put barrels there to stop that.
Right here?
Yeah. Because if you put like 2 or 3 barrels right there, that completely screws this up.
Yeah, because it gets way harder right here.
Yeah. And we were talking about it. Now, obviously, there's the other thing that kind of goes on through the fence.
Right, which we're gonna talk about. You know what I'm setting up already.
So we're like, no, leave that space open, right? But there's a whole conversation about, like I said before, about where barrels go, where they don't go, what objects are funneling you subliminally. Nothing's just put there. It's like, okay, we're putting that to kind of guide the flow.
So confirm to me.
Yep.
So you let this zone here be a little bit more relaxing because you knew they're going to be looking outside the map for the.
Yes.
That's awesome. And we didn't know that at the time. So when you first go to this area, you don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm hoping you guys aren't thinking like I am, right?
That is fucking insane. I can't believe that he actually knew about this strategy as well. I didn't even know about this strategy, but that was something that they thought about when they were. That's fucking nuts. When they were making this, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I feel sorry for you, but you also want later on them to go, oh. And again, no, you don't want people to think about it in that way. Again, the reason why I won't talk in these kind of ways back in the day is that kind of looking behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously enough time's passed, but that's how we're thinking when we're trying to shape an experience, right?
I have a question that I have to bring up.
Yeah.
So you see this right here. Mm-hmm. What are we looking at, Jason? It's a crawler, right? Why did you guys not like crawlers? And why did you fight us on this? And I'm sorry, but I just had that moment where I was like, wait, I can make a crawler in World at War. Wow.
I mean, I could tell you, so I don't know what the modern zombies are doing, so I kind of don't want to say anything in case they've done more of it, less of it, and I don't want to throw shade.
Just from your perspective, if you don't mind.
Well, from my
I love that as well. Sorry, I fucking love that he clearly. I can't observe any behavior patterns or tonalities of his voice that display any hatred for the modern zombies team. If anything, all I can say is that he holds them to high praise, and he doesn't know what's going on. But even when he still talks about Treyarch, he says that he loves them. I love that he doesn't carry any animosity towards them after being cut. I think that's one of the most mature and respectful things that you can do, and I think that's why he's got such a prevalent identity in the zombies community even still today, because he's honestly one of the most level-headed and just enjoyable people to listen to. Throughout this entire video, when I've been giving my little tidbits of information or anything that I can clarify on or things that I can relate to, just listening to him, it's great. It's great. I haven't even really acknowledged the fact that 52 minutes have passed. Genuinely, He is arguably the goat. He is the goat. I'd say of zombies. He has to be.
At the time, it was there was the conversation happening about, okay, they're going to have people who have to maintain crawlers, and so somebody's not going to have fun for the other people to then go and do things.
That is true.
And so the conversation was, okay, how do we keep all 4 people having fun and not just have one person who has to do the kind of dirty work while the other 3 people are desperately kind of scanning?
Okay.
That was the conversation. I would say that in my time, we didn't properly get to the end of it.
Right.
We knew that this was something we didn't particularly want, which was why one person having to have a sucky experience for the other 3 people to have fun, right? But that was some of the debate on it.
Okay. That
It was from a good place. It wasn't. It's not coming from a. Damn these guys! They've gamed the system. It was like we've put a system in place that means that one person has to have a poor experience. Is there a way for us to address that?
Yeah, it's just
that was the motivation for the conversation.
I understand that, but you still kind of do have the cemented. Like, it's very cemented within the COD Zombies culture that, you know, you've always got the guy holding the zombie, like professional zombie holder when you're doing an Easter egg. Like, we always had a guy on that, like doing that back in the day when I was playing BO3 with all my friends on Xbox. You know, there'd be the guy who doesn't really know what the fuck's going on, and sometimes that would be me. I'm not gonna lie, I'd hold the zombie. They kind of flip-flopped a lot in with crawlers, because in World at War and Black Ops 1, they wouldn't die out, and that can be a double-edged sword. That can be a really big double-edged sword, because at the end of the round, you're searching the entire map to flip the round, right? Eventually, they do respawn, I think, but they don't die out. They do respawn as full zombies. Black Ops 2, if you get too far away from them, they die, and it ends the round. And then Black Ops 3 and so on and so forth. I don't even really think you can make a crawler in... Can you make a crawler in BO4? I don't think you can. I don't know. But crawlers are a weird one.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The thing that's so interesting is just... I mean, I can't remember how exactly it worked in World at War. Like, I can't remember if they died... I think they probably died after a while, if I remember correctly. Like, but it was like a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. I will say one of my favorite ones that ever happened was Unburied.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Arthur can like pick up the crawler with like
That's
candy
cool,
and things like that.
You called him Arthur there.
That is,
it's not Leroy.
There you go. He gave up. He'd had enough.
Oh shit!
We didn't have Arthur here, damn it.
Oh, it does end the round. I thought they just
Leroy?
respawned.
His name was Arthur. Am I going crazy? Guys, we're not doing Mandela effect. I know we all said Leroy, but wasn't it Arthur eventually? Huh? Guys, you can't be doing this to me.
I can't unfortunately talk about this because I'd be confirming something.
Oh shit!
I'll leave alone. I know what you mean, so yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's open this door finally. Man, I gotta talk to you. It's about time, Jason. I have to talk to you about the instead of the elephant in the room.
Yep.
The fly in the room.
Yep.
Oh, Easter egg.
Riese. This is like a trailer shot moment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pretty good.
Riese did this thing.
Yep.
That I think has. Whether I'm curious of your perspective on it. Of the fly trap Easter egg. Mm-hmm. All right, let me do a little portal really fast. Look at that. Oh yeah.
So cool.
Man, it's so good. It's so gamey. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pack a punch really fast with the trench gun because why not? This trench gun is so good. But I need to ask about the fly trap because I think for a lot of us, to me anyway, the thing that like really grabbed its hooks into me with zombies early on, right? Later I loved it in different ways, to be honest. Like I grew to love zombies in different ways, and I played the game differently in different games. Like I played zombies very different in Black Ops 3 than I played in the old days. But I spent so much time thinking about the real world conspiracies of what that, like it felt, like they say, like it felt real to me. Like it felt so real to me that you guys were like rooting so much of the curiosity into things that like are inspired about in real life, and you're rewarding that curiosity of like, what even is this, right?
I like how they're segueing into this. I was gonna say the amount, especially in World at War, BO1, not so much BO2. They kind of really started to go into like fiction. I mean, they're definitely still real world locations, but like transit, you could say that was anywhere really. You could say it was America somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like World at War, like all the real world events that went on, they tied in like World War Two and World War One in Origins, and how they really made it like it 115, the element 115 was something they were going to use to win the war or some shit like that. That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that so much. It's why that the game Wolfenstein is so interesting to me as well, because as we know in history, the Allied forces won World War Two, but in Wolfenstein it's like, oh, what if they didn't? You know what I mean? It shows the harsh, fucking horrible reality that it would be if the Axis powers came to win in World War Two. And the fact that we have the means to be able to show these different scenarios with history as well. A lot of media does tie into history, which is something I'm noticing. In like video games, movies, all that shit, like Recount. You've got like Recounts like 1917. That's a great film. It's like it shows the true horror of World War One, like trench warfare from like a British perspective. History is a very important tool when you're creating anything. I think you can really make a compelling story if you tie it into real world events, because it's something that the majority of people know happened at some point, because history is a very shared thing. Some people know more than others, but like for example, everybody knows that World War One and Two happened. Do you know what I mean? They might not know the details, but they know that the Allied forces were the good guys, the Axis powers were the bad guys. You know what I mean? I think it's fucking awesome that a lot of COD Zombies is tied into real world history, and it just it scratches that itch in my brain anyway.
The whole like, I mean, again, it's been a while. It's Die Glock, right? Mm-hmm. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of it. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. But can you just explain like where, like what was the idea of putting the fly trap Easter egg in here?
Yep.
And also, I know this is a loaded question. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. What's that guy doing? What also was like? Did you know that this was the beginnings of like, we use this word all the time nowadays, main quest, right? Mm-hmm. If you said what's the main quest of Riese, I would say, well, it is the fly trap Easter egg. I mean, it's small,
sure,
but this was kind of the beginnings of that feeling.
I mean, I consider that's why I include Riese in all of my Easter egg videos, because I see the fly trap Easter egg as Riese's main quest, and it was definitely solidified in. I think he might go on to this, I don't know, but it was definitely solidified that it was in BO3 because you got the Annihilator as a reward. And then when they did the Gateworm update, for those of you who don't know, the Gateworms, like, for the Super Easter egg, they weren't there on launch. They solidified that with the Gateworms, because once you do the Riese Easter egg, you get I think it's called Paradoxical Prelude or something, or whatever it comes up with under the XP. It's like, every BO3 Easter egg has a thing. When you complete it, you get a certain amount of XP, then there's something at the bottom. For example, if you do the Super Easter egg, it's called Primus Rules with a Z. Funny. But they definitely solidified that the flytrap Easter egg is indeed Riese's main quest with BO3.
Like there's a quest,
yes,
and there were always side quests and things like that. But like this was the beginning of that feeling in my mind. I know Ascension really blew it out of the water later. With like it talked like the full like multi-step. We're going crazy here. But where did that come from? If you can speak on that, like obviously speak on whatever you can, but it's something that is so near and dear to me, and I would always show my friends every time in this corner when we're doing that.
I love how open he's being as well. This is something I was gonna say. If you watch a video with Jason Blundell, for example, from 2015 with Milo, when he was doing like the lightning round and stuff, Jason was so unbelievably like cryptic, and he had to be because it was a game that was being developed at the time, right? He was so cryptic, and it's just so nice to be able to like sit back and watch this unfold. Like why this is here, why this is there. He's not going into too much lore stuff, which I imagine he still wants to keep under lock and key for us to figure out. But I love the fact that he's showing us more stuff without explicitly telling us everything that we want to know. That's awesome.
Camping strategy. Be like, by the way, shoot that thing. And they're like, what? Shoot what? Like, yeah, shoot that thing out there. Yeah, shoot the trench gun. Maybe not. Maybe not. There's probably some fall off
Good
on
luck
that.
with that.
Yeah, let me go get some more ammo for this thing. But yeah.
So, so there's a bunch of things that kind of factor into to that one. So you obviously know that I love my mythology. I love my storytelling. Right? I love my conspiracy theories. I love my aliens. Right? All these kind of all these fun things. And being a campaign guy originally, that's if you're given a map, and hopefully you see this in things like Black Ops 1 and Harvard 2 and so forth. But But I would just go crazy on the history. If we're going to do the Bay of Pigs invasion, I'm going to research everything about the Bay of Pigs. I'm going to go into all the conspiracy theories. So I'm given this with,
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, these zombie thing. The thought that was kind of going on at the time, and obviously done all the research, and this had been already started with a lot of the kind of dark arts kind of stuff that I'd seen before.
Right.
And I was like, well, okay. And I didn't know when I was going to come back and do something else again in the future, right? So there was a little bit of a set a promise up into the future kind of concept, right? Because I was just coming in to do one map and then I'd go away. I didn't know what was going to happen. But
one of the things that I'm actually really curious about here is that once he's done on this topic, they might get onto the topic of Samantha, and I really want to know if she was like she was already drafted up from here, like with the like I want to play hide and seek line and all that stuff, or that was just meant to play into like once again tying back to the thing of like it's a product of its time, where like the spooky fucking little girl was like the horror trope at the time. It was like there was a couple of horror movies that did it. I remember there was one with these two twins in a hotel or something where there was like it was like a room that was haunted or some shit. There was like a hotel, Conjuring, all that stuff. I'm wondering if that was it was just a product of its time, like The Ring and stuff like that as well. Yeah. Or they had it drafted up and Samantha was going to come in BO1, and I don't know, but I really want to know, because I want to know if like maybe it's when they got into Ascension, when they started drafting up Yuri. I don't know if Yuri was even a character. It was just, she's coming, we need to turn on the Casimir mechanism, she's coming, like I want to know if that was an thing that they had, or it was just they kind of went with the flow. And then I want to say around BO3 was when they were like, right, do you know what I mean? That's when the pen hit the paper in terms of like actually planning things out, because you got that massive map as well of all the chronological events of everything that happened in Zombies. And I'm just so curious about this shit, man.
Like
I really am.
The core of it, as I saw it, was the possibility. Right, like I said, right, everything was about possibility. Everything was about that kind of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
There could be more.
It could be more. And I thought that the idea of the something which feels like you have to find, but doesn't give you the answer, is a promise into the future.
Yeah.
And so that was the kind of thought behind it. Without going into all the crazy conspiracy and history stuff I read, which I absolutely loved.
Right.
But that was then the touch, I thought.
It's so amazing because, like, again, like, it did it. I think in chat you can agree or disagree or whatever. But I personally, again, growing up playing this, to be honest, I probably shouldn't have played this game
Nope.
When I was. That's okay. Thank you, Dad Fire. Appreciate you.
Same here. Don't worry. It's fine.
I would say that, like, for me, again, that possibility that you're talking about is everything. Because yes. I would shoot this thing, right? And I would think about what is this object out here that what even is this thing, first of all, and there's plenty of things you can research about that, which gets you excited.
Yep.
And I remember, like, hunting for the toys and all that kind of stuff, and we were always like, is there more? Were we supposed to shoot this last? Were we supposed to shoot this first? What was, like, is there like something else we can do? And then when you tack on the radios to the map and things like that, it started painting this picture of, like, we're messing with forces that we were messing with forces that, like, it almost felt like because you're coming into a place after an apocalypse happened, right? You're coming in, and the fact that there's, like, this, it's so magically different, like that, like everything on this map is so I want to use the word, like, gritty. Like, obviously you have, like, your Perca-Colas and things like that, right? And you have things that are fantastical as you do. but there's something really eerie about seeing these glowy green, like, you know, it gives you like a vibe of like almost like supernatural alien type stuff, right? Flying through the map, and you're like, okay, I'm going crazy. Is this real? Is that a bug? You know, we always joked around like the visual glitch, right? We're like, is that a visual glitch or is that real? But like, obviously something's happening because of the dialogue. But I guess I'm coming from like the feeling I had was this feeling of so much wonder, because I was like, if that can happen in this mode, I mean, a couple maps ago I was playing in just a bunker.
Yeah.
What could happen next time, right?
Yep.
That would,
Have you ever heard that phrase?
I'm gonna pause. That is something that I don't get hyped for anymore with zombies, because after, you know, like there was, I think the biggest example of this was Black Ops 3, because this is the game that I grew up with, right? Every cutscene that when the community would find and beat an Easter egg, after the cutscene had finished, I'd be like, I want to see more. Bro, I need to see more of this. And then when Zetsubo would drop after DE, it was fucking class. GK, and then when Revelations wrapped it all up, despite the fact not many people liked that ending, at the time, I quite liked it. I didn't think it was too bad. And then, you know, they decided to do everything they did with BO4, but I don't know, man. Like, just, I don't have that feeling of, I want to see more anymore with zombies. And again, I've said this, you know, a couple of times. I don't know if this is just me, but I could just be getting older, or I could be getting tired of the franchise. But, like, you know, seeing from Ashes is cool. Ashes is definitely a transit inspired. It's like a transit reimagined, to me at least. Because, you know, it's got Ted and everything on there, and it's like, I don't know. I don't really get too excited after seeing a cutscene, because the story is kind of just all over the fucking place. I haven't cared for the story in Black Ops Zombies since like BO4. I mean that with a lot of not animosity. I think the word I'm looking for is like bittersweetness, because I love COD Zombies, and the fact that I just don't care about its story anymore is really sad, because it kind of, it's like an arc, really. It's like, you know, through World at War and BO1, you know, a lot of people just like playing it, and then through BO2, BO3, BO4, the story was very, very fucking prevalent. And then with Cold War, it kind of started to go down a little bit again, because, you know, it was relying the most off of intel. But, you know, there was still, you know, in-game cutscenes. Samantha, she was a big role and all that. You know, the reveal of Richtofen was pretty good. BO6, honestly, didn't really care for the characters after Cold War. I think they should have just kind of stayed in Cold War. Maya was cool. A lot of people simp over her now. It's kind of like Misty all over again, though. But I've just cared less and less for the story over the years, and it's very sad. It's very, very sad.
When this used to be said to me when I was a kid, you know, some film would come out, and you know, a parent would say, "Well, the book's better than the film." You know, and you'd say, well, you know, why is that? And it's like, well, because your imagination can paint the picture far better than any kind of, you know, particular rendering of it.
That's good.
And so the concept, you know, as a high, you know, again, if I'm going to get a bit pompous about it, the high concept, which was, can you make a game where the concept of it is bigger than the game? That the imagination of it is more important than the actual gameplay? Can you make the book experience? Because a book tells you a story, but your imagination does a lot of the work, right? Right. So it's, can you make a game that does the same thing, where your imagination does a lot of the work, while the game is kind of taking you on a journey, right?
Stop! You're making me so. Oh. It's crazy when you hear Jason describe like.
I don't want to. I hate to come off there, but I just seeing JC this happy is so sweet, man. Like actually, because. After, I don't really want to get too much into this. I don't want to talk about this much any more than I have to, but, you know, after all the situation with all the stuff with Lex and stuff, really tore the community apart. And this ties into what I was saying towards the start of the video as well. It's so nice to see the community so knit here. Like it feels good. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like we're just, you know, arguing, or just, it's really nice to see everybody come together. And I think that's why a lot of people actually jumped ship with zombies, is because the community actually got so sour to the point where it just wasn't enjoyable. There's a couple of periods of time where I didn't enjoy being a part of the community, and I don't hold that animosity towards the community as such, because I do love you guys. I love my little corner of the internet, but I really couldn't care less for interacting with the community apart from, you know, stuff that actually is positive, not only for the community but for me. Like I don't really care about trying to be positive about something that I don't like, you know, like negative positivity. I don't really like being negative just for the sake of being negative, like grifting. I like this. This is awesome. This is fucking sick. And I want to interact with this. That's why I'm making these sorts of videos now, because I had the idea to do it. And, you know, I'm already good at yapping. Might as well start reactions. You know what I mean? I just don't really like show my face. But, you know, I just love shit like this, man. It's so nice to see after so many years of just fucking, like, you know, shit.
Well, that was the intention. You're like, well, that's exactly what I had. That is exactly how I felt. You guys absolutely succeeded in every world. And that's why, you know, I said this earlier. I think I got distracted saying it, but
Fantastic team we did this.
You guys killed it. And me and Liam have talked about this ad nauseum, is that we truly think this is, in terms of like atmosphere, like a world and level. I think it's one of, in my opinion, it's one of the greatest video game environments I've ever been in. I'm not even joking. And it's small. It's small, but it has so much depth. It has you thinking. It has you wondering. When we started finding the radios, that was crazy. There was just so much. It had this like replay value to it that it just hooked me for years and years and years of my life. Even later, later when, you know, Black Ops 1 hit and we had more maps, we would still go back and load up Riese. Like I'm just saying, like it was so fantastic to us. And you know, again, shout out to the team at Treyarch that did that.
I mean, yeah, you've really hit the nail on the head there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I didn't think I'd be sat here, you know, talking about a map that came out in 2009 in 2026. You know what I mean? I wasn't around for that. I'm on about, like, I was sat playing Horizon Drac from like 2015, 2016. Did I think I'd still be talking about it to this day and actively playing it? Do you know what I mean? Thought it would just be, you know, oh, the new one will come out and I'll play that more. But no, I fucking love Black Ops 3. And this is something in the community as well that pisses me off. Do not try to take things away from people that they actually enjoy, but do not fight over them at the same time. Don't be an arsehole and say that, you know, you're fucking wrong for thinking that this game's better than this one because this. You know what I mean? You can say that there are objective features about each game that you know that are better. For example, I think that Black Ops 3. Well, you can't even really say objective because then it's subjective. If I'm saying I think, I'm trying to think of things in BO3 that are objectively better. The perk system in BO3 is objectively better than the one in BO4. You know, you can say things like that, but don't, you know, bring other people down for saying, oh yeah, no, like I think Black Ops 6 is my favorite game. You know, you'll get the reaction of, oh, how the fuck did you say that? BO3 is so much better. Have you even played the other games? And it's like, some people might just prefer that, man. Like you know what I mean? You've got to have a very open mind when it comes to discussing these things, and that's why I think the dynamic between JC and Blundell is awesome, because he's really they're both open-minded people. They're both very, very, you know, level-headed individuals, and this discussion that we're watching right now, it's just such a joy to watch, man.
Because
and by the way, that was just fear-driven. We were all just like, please let us not mess this up, right?
Yeah.
Because we really because we were aware there was, you know, there was a passionate community.
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't know what we're doing. So that was the, everybody had that anxiety, you know, guys who would be known as staples in the zombie map creation. We were on this, we were all like, okay, we're doing this for the first time.
Right. Well, here's the question: do we remember where the toys are? Because they're different in the giant. So my brain is thinking about the giant ones.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a while. Let's see if these dogs stop. Thank you. I swear there was one in here, dude.
Nah, that's the
There's
giant.
one in here, isn't there, chat?
No, there's not.
I
That's
got
the
losing my
giant.
mind.
I sometimes have to be careful because I don't want to accidentally say something that's like, we didn't know that. So I've got to be careful what I say.
That's the giant one. No! fire escape, third teleporter room, and cage near trench gun. Oh, I do remember the cage. Let me go that way. Let me also grab Speed Cola while I'm at it. Did you guys do the oh my gosh, you guys are going crazy with the subs. Thank you. Again, I have alerts off for this stream chat, but I appreciate so much of what you're doing. We want to keep the content focused on, like, because this is the commentary on Riese. This is it. And I think it's
he's loving that. Look at that little smoke. Look at him. Oh god, subject, I love Jason Blundell so much,
my
man.
favorite room.
The boiler room?
Yeah, furnace room, yeah.
Or the furnace room.
Yeah.
Why? How come?
I just really like. I mean, there's obviously a couple of steps that you have to do in there as well, but I just like the. How it's a room inside a room, and the flow of it.
Oh yeah.
It's just. I don't know.
I just like it. Like you just you're tempting people to peer into that too, which is.
Well, it's an uncomfortable space.
It's so uncomfortable.
That's why I like it.
Yeah. You like that the monkey is in there. I know that you do. I can just imagine you laughing, being like, yeah, the monkey bomb's just chilling in there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking because I remember back in the day, and I think we'll definitely do some more Q&A in it here in a bit, but I'm just seeing it come up in chat a lot. Look how many dang zombies there are. I remember at the time, there was lots of rumors of the ammo-matic.
Okay.
I remember people around the
this.
time of Riese coming out. There was going to be some machine that would that was like the ammo machine.
Okay.
Was that a thing?
An ammo machine.
Yeah, it was called. I remember it being called the ammo-matic. Like, I don't know why we knew about that.
I mean, I will say from my perspective, I was not aware of anything.
Interesting. Okay.
That's not to say that somebody somewhere didn't have an idea, but
Yeah,
No
maybe
way it was Mandela
something.
effect.
I'm not aware of that. Or I
Was
don't
it like one of
remember
the?
two.
And
It
a
was
lot
like one of
a
them
lot
things where it's like it was
like
leaked.
modern maps now, like in a way that idea has.
No way that Ammo-matic. I know Ammo-matic was one of the things that was not leaked, cut from zombies. No way it was one of them ones where it was just like a really, really good fake. There's no way.
Happen because they have like ammo crates and things like that.
Sure.
So, it's one of those things where like maybe that persisted through time with that. But interesting, yeah, because I remember I think there was a time where we were like searching for it.
Okay.
I don't know why my brain remembers that, but I feel like at one point I was like, is there a secret machine?
Candelier as well is a one that got cut. It was a perk, I'm pretty sure, because it's a play on words of bandolier. That's why you've got Bandolier Bandit in BO4, because I think they brought it back, but it was just meant to give you more ammo in your reserve, I'm pretty sure. But they brought that back for BO4. But Candelier was a thing that was meant to be in World at War, I'm pretty sure, or BO1.
Somewhere.
I mean, ammo.
And then you guys did a secret machine on the giant.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Well, ammo was the reason why I think that if it was a thing, it would have died very quickly.
Yeah.
In my perspective, because ammo was, especially in these early maps, was really important. Like in terms of how much ammo you had, how we drove you from one weapon to the next weapon.
Right.
The magic box. We were very, very sensitive about that. So I can't imagine, even if that was an idea, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have lasted very long, because I would have been very sensitive to the idea of too much ammo, because we were all about, again, we were obsessing about the position of where the boards are, the windows are. We were obsessing about the weapon.
Right.
As the maps become more complex or more involved, you can kind of ease off a little bit on.
Yeah, totally.
But at the beginning, we were just obsessed. It was like, it's about the windows. It's about the windows. It's about the box, right? And then it's like, and then how do we make the flow good? Teleporters. Okay, how do we give you purpose? Okay, pack a punch. It was like trying to answer all these questions.
Right.
So something like the idea of a, continuous ammo machine or something I'd have been like, are you kidding me? Because I'd be like, we just balanced all this in, and we're all, So if it was an idea, I would have either killed it or
Interesting.
wouldn't have heard about it in the first one.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of people asking about that.
I could be wrong. If I find out one of the scripters snuck it in there.
Oh my god!
I don't believe so. Yeah, there you go.
I kind of have to, right?
You kind of have to. Yeah.
Wow, I totally forgot.
That's what World
about
at War
this.
was known for.
Oh, the flamethrower, yeah, shit.
Look at how slow I move. Oh.
So I'll tell you a story about that. The teddy bear. So when we did this, so I say that the weapons guy made me the piece of wood with the Bowie knife, which is behind you, with the little brass plaque on it. And then the other thing is he went out and bought the teddy bear, and he brought it in. He said, "Okay, we've got the teddy bear." And I actually took. Well, I'll tell you this bit. So I said, "You can't. That's not the teddy bear. You're gonna have to like f it up." And so what he did, he took it down to Marina Del Rey. He took it down to Marina Del Rey, and threw it in the ocean.
Oh my god!
And buried it in the ocean and kind of messed around with it, and then brought it back in the next day, and it was all crusty and all messed up. And I was like, there we go. Now we got the teddy bear. Right?
Oh, it probably smelled so bad.
It was terrible. So I now have this toxic Bowie knife that's sticking out half the office, and this stinky kind of teddy bear that's all ratty with stains on it. And we took that teddy bear to Alcatraz when we went and did Mob of the Dead, and we put it there and took photos of it. So the actual teddy bear stayed with us from the Riese all the way through to the Origins. I think it's probably still at Treyarch, I think, somewhere.
Wow.
But there's actually official teddy bear, and there's actually an official Bowie knife object.
That's probably got to be worth in a weird way. Don't know if I want. Actually, I would love to own that, but that's like a legendary artifact at this point. If it's been through that much,
it sure has.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's the teddy bear.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, because I had a bunch of questions, and I feel like we nailed so many of the questions so quickly that I'm trying to think of like of one that I had from. This is getting crazy.
Yep.
I might have to open this. I'm doing it. I'm opening this. I'm like, for some reason, I'm untrustworthy of the flamethrower.
Yeah, it's shit. Flamethrower's ass.
I saw like
for that very reason. I think.
There was a video. Yeah, there was a video that someone made recently where they said that like we knew we didn't understand the math of the flamethrower until like this past year, like how it worked. Does anyone know what I'm talking about, chat? Like someone made a video. Please remind me who it was. I saw it recently.
It was the math of the flamethrower. You're telling me it's not just what? The fucking math of the flamethrower. Get out of here, man. No. No way. Is it? It doesn't, bro. The way I'd imagine it works is just like, it's exponential damage, right? The more it spits out flames, the more damage it does. I don't know. God, is it really that complicated?
The way the flamethrower works, we always thought that it was. Someone would have to describe what it did. It's like the way that it's scripted is like is just so strange to what we thought it did. Someone in the chat will have to remind me. It burns them. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it burns them. Explain. Wait, what do you mean?
It's flamethrower.
Yeah. Someone again, if you haven't seen it, look it up because it's like a recent video. It's warm. It's damage over time. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I'm remembering now. Because when you're playing this, you assume that the more you hold it down, the better. Like you're gonna do more, right? Like you're gonna do more damage. It actually is better to tap it like once and let them just burn. I think that's what it was. And I was like, wait, what? Like it's actually better just to go. And it classifies the zombies as like burning or something.
Yeah, it's like a thermostat. Turning it colder doesn't make it colder faster.
Right. And it's so interesting. You get more points though. I guess, yeah, you do get more points if you. That's true. But it was just like one of those things because you assume you want to go like guns blazing right with it, but it's actually better to just like.
And again, I was not really involved in that kind of chat. That's the designers being hardcore about it. But,
they're saying BO1 terminal Doris password.
Ooh, you have to wait for the Black Ops 1 breakdown as well.
Oh, they actually are going through every. Oh, that's awesome! I
got to keep some secrets. Come on,
dude. That's true. That's true. Well, the one you said at the start of the stream was crazy. So,
well, I have to close the door on that sooner or later.
Yeah. Close the door. All right. I'm so going to. Oh, look at that though. Oh, so cool. I think I know I have not gone for the toys at all, and chat's gonna kill me that I haven't done it. So I need to do that.
They're not the boss of you.
You say that, Jason, but they'll
That's my job.
we hope. We hope. No, it's happening. Hopefully.
Oh, are they partnering up? Oh, is this a thing? Have I been living under a rock? What the fuck? Oh, I was thinking maybe you and I could partner up.
Let's do. Okay, I got one. I got one teddy bear.
Some of those comments.
What were they saying? What are they saying?
We pay your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
And that's why I'll be setting up my YouTube channel.
Oh, that would be funny, man.
If you did that, I'd be wondering what's going on.
Yeah. We're not on that timeline, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I guess never say never, though, right? You can't. You
I
can't.
think I've used that phrase before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your favorite gun in this map? Let's just give you like a casual question as I'm trying to get through this round.
It's got to say the Wonderwall.
Again,
surely.
I'm going to say because it was so fun and I had such a heated debate about it, I'm going to say it's the Pack-a-Punch pistol.
Oh, really?
It's my favourite because it was so against everything we were talking about.
It's like it's disruptive to what you think would happen, right? And that's what makes it interesting.
Again, you guys are all far better. You know, the rumors are true. You guys are all far better players than I am.
Right.
Right. But I enjoyed the things that kind of subvert expectations.
Yeah.
Not just for the hell of it, but like that it's reaching something greater.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I love that attitude so much. You know, just throwing in some random bullshit here and there just to, you know, spice things up. You can have the most, you know, ducks in a row, fucking 4-point dotted game imaginable, but it's boring. You know what I mean? You got to throw in some of that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, the Mustang and Sally's is actually, the C1A B Arch, as it's called in fucking World at War, is just a singular, but the Mustang and Sally's have become such a core staple of BO3, Call of Duty Zombies, that, you know, they are an identity of it. You know, they are a sub. What's the word I'm looking for? Like an icon of COD Zombies. You know what I mean? It's integrated into the culture, and you know the average Joe will know the Mustang and Sally's. Do you know what I mean? It's awesome, and you know the little things like that. You know, you never know, could be your next Mustang and Sally if you just throw some bullshit at the wall.
You can always just do random stuff.
Right.
But you want to do it so that it takes you to the next place, right? Why do you do the teleport? Because it takes you to the Pack-a-Punch. What's the Pack-a-Punch doing? It's setting you up. Like, you want ideas to kind of roll forwards.
Right.
Why? Because then you're setting up the idea of people connecting things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this is connected to that, that's connected to that, so that must be connected to something else.
Mm-hmm. I should probably buy the Bowie knife too. We should. We should.
And then you get a celebration. You get the first lift, right?
Uh-huh.
It was all about this. We had these big conversations about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Fuck
That was
yeah.
it. It was all...
So good.
There was
So
meetings. There were so many meetings about that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
good. The trailer shot as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I haven't gotten the Wonderwolf as well. I do need to get that as well. That's gonna be one of my goals, chat. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get the things that we, you know, that encapsulate the Riese experience the most that I can. Obviously, we're
I'm
not gonna be
talking
able to
about
do
the traps,
everything, but
That's something.
this would be good. Wonderwolf? Someone said what was the idea behind creating the Wonderwolf? Wonderwolf, I think, was Shionuma, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Wonderwolf already happened.
Yes.
Uh,
I didn't have the budget for that kind of. The best I could do is a monkey bomb. They wouldn't get. I couldn't get enough time for a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Wonderwolf already happened, and then we had, what do you call it? I guess Bowie knife was kind of like the main new weapon.
Bowie was it was like,
Uh-huh.
it was either I could go for one weapon or I could get a Bowie knife and a monkey bomb. So that's what I went for. I was like, okay, I could have one new weapon.
I could have
or
one cake,
two things.
or I could have
Wonderwolf's
two
so cool that
cakes.
it was,
Yeah.
it was sick to see it return again.
That was my producer hat on, which was
Right.
okay, we could get two new things out of this rather than one weapon.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, here's a good question. Ooh, I should go look at this too. This is a. I wasn't meaning to do the Q&A quite yet, but I'm seeing things in chat that are sparking some things. So I appreciate you guys. Over here, as this hellhound is chasing me.
Yep. By the way, I'm not going to answer all the mysteries that are still in.
Yeah,
Greece, right?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Nor do I. Me personally, I mean, chat might disagree. But
That's why I've got to be careful when you say, "Oh, where's all the stuff?" I've got to be careful.
yeah.
'Cause I don't know what you guys know. So
I like how he like sort of cowers in fear whenever you like. I don't know if you've like he brought up his hands like fucking Ethan Winters from Resident Evil 7. Every time that he talks about like shit that he's not supposed to, he like almost like fucking cowers away from it. This guy has been a mental block of things that he's not allowed to say, and I respect the fuck out of it. I don't actually think there's been a case where Blundell has slipped up, in my opinion. I can't remember a time that he's ever slipped up. You know, like I'm talking like Mr. Dalek JD leaking Origins type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
But I mean, one of the coolest things that I would say, I mean, stuff did come out of this. Let me wait for the last one to. God, the sound effects on this game, like
by the way, those dogs are a pain in the bum for pathfinding.
Oh, I imagine.
The amount of testing to get the dogs to pathfind correctly. Oh.
Yeah. So. There it is. It's, oh my gosh, it's so hard to. Is that them? It is this. It's just hard for me to see. I probably need like a sniper to look at it better. But these boards, oh my god, the fact that they like actually like again, and this is something that I think is really important in my opinion, just as a designer, is like reward curiosity, respect people's time, validate their time and effort they spent thinking about things. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, not with everything.
I need to be more obsessed than our most obsessed fan.
Right.
So the challenge I used to always think was, I need to be more dedicated than a person who plays this continuously and obsesses on it.
Right.
I have to be more than that. Otherwise, that person will get disappointed. Because if that person can feel the roof, then all that passion is lost. So my job is to have more.
I can fully understand what he's saying. It's like, I remember as a kid, another game that I used to love was the Portal series, Portal 1 and 2, and I loved Portal 2. I fucking loved Portal 2. I still do to this day. And one of the best areas of that game is Old Aperture. And one of the things that I love about that game is its atmosphere. And the atmosphere in chapters 6, 7, and the start of 8 is just fucking phenomenal. It is fucking phenomenal. You know, there's so much, there's scale, there's, you know, the sound design on that for the time is mental. And one of the things I love is that the community has ran with that idea. You know, Old Aperture mods like Portal Stories Mel, for example, start in Old Aperture instead of, you know, working your way down towards it. What's another one? There is Portal Revolution, which is where they did the 1980 section. They expanded on that. They expanded on the 1980 section of Old Aperture, and that was something that got like one test chamber, and then you moved on back up to New Aperture to continue on with the story. But honestly, the fact that he's acknowledging like this nature of, you know, being that obsessed over something, and if you find the ceiling of it, you naturally do get a bit, well, if I'm explicitly told literally everything about things I've been obsessing over, what the fuck's the point anymore? And that's why I'm still obsessed with that portion of Portal 2, because the community are just constantly raising the ceiling, and that's what I love.
That than the most hardcore person can find.
And so,
yes,
on this map, you guys are just like, here's some photos of some other potential places that a zombie outbreak could happen, and most of them did happen.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
It's funny how that works.
It's funny.
Yeah,
and that's one of my favorite things about Riese is, like, again, it just sets up so much.
A kind of similar thing happened then on the Giant, right?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Because it calls the DLCs all the locations, right? Which was a callback to the fact that this one had the locations of everything that was going to go forwards as well.
You're talking about the coordinates on the paper, right?
So actually, the Giant tells you the season for both World at War forwards, and then also from then.
Are you saying
Black Ops 3?
Yeah, Riese tells you the season far, the season far ahead, and the Giant also does the same thing.
Yep.
That's
I didn't
so
think about
cool.
the fact that they both do it. But yeah, that's so true. And it does it in a different way, too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Someone said it's like poetry, it rhymes. As they say. Well, I mean, that's a good question, too, right? Like, obviously, we've seen this map evolve over the years. There's been many, like, iterations of it.
Sure.
And I really do think that the spirit of this map is embedded in a lot of the things that happen later. Still to this day, I think that, oh God. Well, I'm not.
Well, it's a good job you're not cheating.
Yeah, good. Jason, this was not supposed to happen. That was supposed to be. It was supposed to be. I was supposed to be. Oh, look. Oh.
Oh, it's just in the last second.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, Jug was so good back then.
Before Jason ruined it.
Beautiful.
You know, I had that thought in my brain. I was like, wow, Jug was so good. Like, you should remove that. And I was like, I shouldn't say that. That's a little mean. Oh, man. That's so...
Come at me, bro.
I assume I know the answer on why you tried. Or
We're
why
not
you
doing
guys
that
tried.
in this stream.
Yeah, not this one.
No, we'll do another one on that one.
That's a BO4 stream. You
It
gotta-
sure is, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta say that.
Oh God, when they do BO4, oh my God, yes.
What was I saying before I got so interrupted by all that? I was like in the flow state.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying, like obviously, like this map has been like embedded, I think spiritually in the if there is a formula, you know,
It always was for me.
right?
Yeah.
What was it like going back to it with the giant? Because like there's a lot of other maps I would love for you to get your like director's commentary on, and I just, you know, I don't know which ones we're gonna be able to tackle. I'm not sure yet.
Sure.
But and we want to keep you guys on your toes a little bit as well. But I feel like the giant is one that, like, because we did Riese, I feel like it might be one we skip, right?
Sure. Yep.
And I do want to like talk about it for a second because, you know, obviously like adding the snow and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff was like artistically like that change was really, really cool.
Yep.
And it felt different. I liked that it was different. I liked that it wasn't just like the same exact thing again.
Well, because it also represented a different point in the story.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is true. This is something I was gonna say. When the giant opening cutscene happens, it's a completely different point to where Der Riese takes place, I'm pretty sure. Because Ultimus formed in Der Riese because of the test subjects, right? It was Richthofen and the 3 test subjects. That was the story, you know, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey were all test subjects in Der Riese, and that's how, when they, you know, you need to awaken the test subjects, you know what I mean? That's where that line comes from. And the thing is with the giant is that it takes place as Ultimus Richthofen is killing Samantha and Maxis just after they get teleported to Griffin Station, before Maxis dies and becomes part of the computer, and then Samantha gets trapped in the MPD. So it's really cool how the giant has been used twice for 2 different points in 2 different parallel stories. That's fucking awesome. Like you've got to really think about that. It is sick. And the artistic choice of the snow, I'd think, is because Der Riese is frozen in time, right? It is. I mean, I don't know if it is in the original one, like Der Riese and BO1 and World at War, but in the Giant, it's frozen in time, and it's very explicitly shown because at the start, when the clock is ticking down, it gets stuck at 935, and it doesn't move from 935. This has always been a thing with Der Riese, but I don't know if it was just an Easter egg in BO1 or World at War, but maybe Der Riese was frozen in time as well. I don't know, but I know the Giant definitely is. So that's why I think the snow is such a cool choice.
Yeah, and
So it wasn't just a remake of the location.
right.
Like this is a different point in the story.
Yeah, so you looked at like kind of like a brand new.
Yeah, well, like Chronicles, it was like that was us trying to be doing a faithful recreation of the maps that kind of came before us, and so we were trying to do that. Now we put little things in there, but we weren't trying to recanonize and say, okay, there's something else going on.
Right.
But the Giant to Der Riese is 2 different points in time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying almost like if the giant was in Chronicles, it wouldn't have been the way that it was.
Yeah, no, we would have
That's
done,
interesting.
we'd have done the Riese rather than
Yeah.
The
It would
giant.
have
That's
been probably more
awesome,
like the
yeah.
BO1.
Yes.
kinda like
Yeah,
vibe.
which had been done. So
Yeah. That's fair. Huh.
now the other thing that's kind of good about it, because again, when we start off, we had like 9-10 months, like I mentioned before, to do it. It
Yeah.
felt like that.
For
about that time.
For 3.
For 3.
Yeah.
What it allowed me to do is kind of put the team on it to kind of get it going, but also to get the engine, the machine, and the atmosphere and the attitude going, right? Because, as you say, right, this making this map and talking about the decisions you do to kind of get the tone right puts all the developers into a certain mindset,
Right.
certain tone, certain vibe, right? And so that's what was really useful for me. As as Craig and I are going to go off to write kind of story stuff, probably Craig, and I'm working with him,
Right.
But the team can then just start baking themselves in the giant and get the kind of vibe and get the tone right. So then by the time we come out and go, okay, we've got this crazy story we want to tell, they're like, right, bring it on. Because they just kind of got themselves back into the Riese kind of state of mind, if you will.
So it was almost like a rallying like feeling.
Well, it gave them mastery because you're gonna up-res it, right? But you've also then got to be, designers, these artists. They're passionate. They are influenced by the thing they're working on. So as they're working on this and then realizing it, they're getting themselves set up. And then so when we walked out with the bonkers story and also where we're going to go with the zombies stuff, they've been, in my mind, kind of baked into, that core kind of rock and roll, that kind of core anti-authority kind of vibe and mystery with a bit of edge. We got it already now.
I mean, the IGC is like, it's got that edge to it.
Oh!
Baby.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, with the first raise.
See the attitude.
Yep. Just a little like, hey, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little bop. And then also the you couldn't hear, but the musical cue, right? The Wonder Weapon musical cue.
But it's like something like that. And again, I can take it to a level. These things, like I was really into it. It's like, what's the attitude, right? In a first-person shooter, we say the weapon is the character because that's all you see, right?
Oh, what the
he's on a
fuck?
roll.
What the
And so,
fuck?
how is the weapon telling you the attitude of the person? So it's slightly flippant. It's slightly dismissive. It's I know what I'm doing. I'm not panicked. I'm not shaking to do it. But if you imagine the world you're in, you should be. But these characters are kind of larger than life. And so everything they're doing is like, how do we make sure that every action speaks to the attitude?
Can I tell you like a cool thing that happened in games this year that
Sure.
I love? So like there's a game that did like a flip on that with like Resident Evil Requiem, right? Because they had this this new protagonist called Grace, right? And
Shout out,
that
man.
game.
You're not gonna spoil it for
I'm
me.
not spoiling.
Okay.
But the game is very much like it's like Leon and Grace, and both of them are in this game, right?
Okay.
And they did this thing where like in the animation work where whenever Grace shoots like the massive revolver, right?
Oh, it's
like first of all, she's like shaking at all times, and they really play into like the horror aspect, and she's
Yeah.
not trained like.
There's not a single sentence Grace Ashcroft says in that game that's not like, what do you mean? What the fuck is going on? Like she stutters every fucking sentence. Like it's good. I love the subliminal storytelling there, but didn't have to be every fucking sentence. But yeah, I do know what he's on about. Like when you're holding the big pistol that Leon gives you, Requiem, it's got so much more kick than what it does than when Leon fires it. When you play as Grace, and I think that's awesome.
Leon is.
Yeah.
And like when she shoots it, it's like out of control. Like oh my god, like
That's awesome.
Like this, it like the kickback was crazy, and then when Leon does it, it's like.
Yeah,
And you're like,
so here's the thing.
damn, that
and
feels good.
From a design point of view, and
Yeah.
again, I'm sure they executed it fantastically.
Yeah.
That's a very delicate line to walk between achieving the emotion and doing the storytelling and not pissing you off as a game player.
Right.
It's very delicate.
But it's so good because I think in that game like you kind of accept the fact when you're playing as Grace, you know that you're playing as someone inexperienced, so you
Yeah.
kind of like
Well, and again, I'm sure they've done it incredibly
Yeah.
well, right? people can respect that and understand that and still be annoyed by it. So you've got to be very careful when you walk that line, because you go, well, the art of it, the storytelling of it, the reality of it.
But then
but people have got to play it.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So you've got the oh my god, this is so cool kind of people where it's like they can appreciate all the shit. Then you've got like the people who genuinely just hop on zombies to hop on zombies. They don't give a fuck about any of the story. They don't give a fuck about any of the prevalence. You know what I mean? They just want to shoot some fucking zombies. And I can see why that balance, like, not even in terms of just COD, but like, Resident Evil, that can be so annoying to work on. And that's what he's on about, that fine line. That's very, very cool that he's acknowledged that, because there are just people who just want to grab a massive fucking gun, sit on the catwalk, and kill a bunch of zombies. They don't want to know about Richtofen and Maxis. They don't really care.
And they'll kind of do the hat to you and say, oh, yeah, I like what you're doing there. But after the third hour of firing in the wrong direction, they might be like, screw this thing, right? So I'm sure they've done a wonderful job.
They did a really good job with it.
But that's the line as a designer you're walking, which is like, how, because that holds water about 2 seconds. And they go, right, okay, I like what you did there. And then they're like, I need to sort this out. She's got to somehow get better than what she is right now,
right?
I'd assume. So, yes, always one of those. When does the story encroaches on the playability? You got to be very.
It's a fine line.
You got to be very careful.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because we want you to play the game, right?
Yeah. No. Totally. It's definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of the first raises. And it always feels good. You're celebrating the fact that you got to something new. Absolutely. You're celebrating that you have this really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing in COD. So like, the fucking what he's on about, their first raises. So when you first pick a gun up out of the box, you cock it back or something like that. The ray guns for me is one of the most satisfying. You like turn up the knob to turn it up. So cool. I love the Wunderwaffs. I think that's sick. The noise it makes, the noises that the Wunderwaff actually makes are just so fucking cool. There's this one particular one where it's just like it's so mint. I don't know. I'd have to pull it up, but like it sounds like it's rising at the end. It's so cool. The KT4 is a pretty cool one to pick up as well. So all of them are awesome. All of them are awesome to pick up.
Whoa, where did my shot go? Oh, that's crazy. All right, guys.
There's no bugs in this software, I can tell you.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I've checked every line of code. There's not a single bug in this software.
How long have we been live for? We've been live for we've been live for a bit. We've been playing Threes for a bit. I feel like I want to find what's the last 2 teddy bear spots. I should probably do that. That should probably be our mission, right, chat? It's been so long. Tell me, because the giant is different. All right. And also, maybe this is a good time, chat, because we talked a lot about the map and experience, and like we talked about level design. I was very curious about like the choices of which path, like A to B, and like the way you were pointing out like the asymmetry of the spawn room is just love that. So that was huge.
It's like I love over here, the left, and then the drop down and the fire, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. This.
Oh,
cool. It's so good.
That was what I really liked.
Well, I always remember in the trailer, I think it was Nikolai goes down there. He's like, follow me, and it's like, don't follow him. He's going to a dead end. What are you doing?
Well, that was the beginning of the music videos.
Yeah.
Right. That was just talking about, okay, can we tell a secondary story?
Oh, listen to that sound,
that was
man.
The beginning of that,
Yep.
That sound there. That sound there. It's so good.
I was throwing up, or
Yeah.
doing some.
Well, it started with the monkey too, right?
Yeah.
And in that one.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Were there any accidental creations that occurred? That's a good question. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty.
All of them. I mean, like, the again, the monkey bomb is like started off one thing, then it's okay, we strap dynamite to it. Oh, it's okay, it's a monkey now.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's got symbol.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff was, again, the speed that we were going on something like this, because again, you're in the middle of a DLC season, and later on we'd plan them out. But at this point, it was, Jay, come in. Okay, can you do this? Yeah, sure. Okay. So it was just kind of get going fast. So yeah, a lot of it was.
God, if it was fast back then, could you imagine what it's like now in like modern day Treyarch? Holy shit! Yeah, you can sympathize with them. You really can.
But they were all, just to kind of reiterate, they were all trying to solve problems. So again, Pack-a-Punch was how do we get people playing longer, right?
Right.
Teleporters were how do we stop dead ends being frustrating
and make it more of a fun mastery thing instead.
Right. Then it was Easter eggs and ciphers and all this stuff was like how do we keep on adding to that feeling of wonder and that there's something hidden behind something. And then how do we get the rock and roll? It's like, okay, how do we make sure that our lines are, and our vibes starting to encourage this. This game mode might not be approved by Activision. Was the idea? How do you make it feel like they, are they allowed to do that? Was the thing that we kept on talking about?
Punk rock attitude.
How do we make it so that there's just a feeling that the parents aren't watching?
Yeah,
that was the kind of
that's another thing. I think Zombies has lost that completely. They don't care anymore. None of that exists anymore. None of that attitude exists, like the punk rock kind of thing. Not a fucking thing. There's no way. I mean, no, I can't even really think of an example. There's not. There's just not from modern Zombies that you can rip from that, and that honestly might have stopped. I want to say probably after like BO1. To be fair with you. So it might not just be at the fault of modern Zombies, but there in BO2 and BO3 there was sprinkles of it. Do you know what I mean? With what's like a one where it's like, oh, can they do it? Fucking Takio and his Ultima's counterpart committing seppuku. That's a bit fucking out there. Nikolai killing himself is a bit deep. The whole arc of them, like just going around killing their former selves, is quite deep when you think about it. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of that is kind of faded from modern Zombies. Blood of the Dead is definitely one of the heaviest Zombies maps emotionally, and I don't think I'll have a Zombies map that hits me harder than Blood of the Dead again, because it's just so good. Like narratively, that map's amazing. But I'm yet to feel anything towards modern Zombies that's actually irked me a bit. Well, not irked, but you know what I mean.
Also, by the way, well. Again, not everybody. It wasn't intended for kids. Okay,
it's not what
we're saying.
It's an 18-rated game.
But me being, but then me being allowed to play it, by my dad letting me play it. But I also had that feeling.
But here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
And I've said this before, which is, we weren't ever going for horror. What we were going for was what I call aspirational horror.
Very big difference.
And aspirational horror is the feeling that you're playing horror when actually you're not.
Right.
So it feels naughty. It feels like you're playing something that should be if it's older. But if you actually look at what we're doing, we're being very tame. But your imagination is far scarier than.
Yeah. That's such a good way of putting it, man. Like, this is what I mean. This guy has a way with words. It's like when I was growing up, my dad used to have a copy of Medal of Honor for the Wii, and I remember that when I think I was about 5 years old. So I think I started playing Zombies from about 6. Or 7, but my dad used to have this copy of Medal of Honor on the Wii, and I was never allowed to play it because it was, the big boy game. I wasn't allowed to play it yet. But I remember very vividly in a car ride home back from to drop my brother off because he used to come over for weekends. My mom allowed me to play my first 18-rated game, and I remember being so excited. And I was like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I remember telling my little friends at school, being like, my mom lets me play 18-rated games. Thank you, Mom, for doing that, because look where I am now. But it is right, aspirational horror. It's like that feeling. You're not really supposed to be. But, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean?
I could put something on the screen that'd be like tearing blood and tearing you apart. Right. Sure. And I could give everyone serious trauma. I think though that the idea of I don't fully understand what's going on here, but the vibe is indicating something bad happened. And how bad may be based on how much I understand, that's scarier than any graphic I could put on the screen.
Totally. 100%. I've always thought that. Like, I think World at War was a scarier feeling in a lot of ways because it was the beginning. Didn't know, we didn't know what this was going into it. But I've always kind of felt that because I would tell people, like, when they were like, okay, like, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm a zombies content creator or whatever. Or YouTuber. Back then, we'd probably just say, I make videos about Call of Duty Zombies. And they would kind of look at me like, isn't that like super, like, like demonic and like terrifying. And I'm like, well, yeah, but like you can imagine me in school. Like I was like a goody two shoes.
Sure.
You know, like I did not like I wasn't even into like metal music or anything like that. Granted, I like my Linkin Park, but I've been told that Linkin Park is not a metal band, and that is proof enough of what I'm talking about. But like, even though Crawling in My Skin is very very intense, but I guess what I'm saying is that for me, I never would have thought I would have been into like zombies, because like I watched The Walking Dead and I watched stuff like that.
Sure.
And the gore in that stuff was kind of like, ugh, oh god, ugh. I do think that
there's never really been a case in zombies, apart from in World War II zombies, because that wasn't even made by Treyarch. It's kind of not really. It is valid to bring up. World War II zombies was gruesome as fuck. Like it was like, you know, arms being cut off. There was that door that you had to open where it would like tear the guy in half and then shred him to bits, and then you'd get inside and there'd be a severed head that you had to go pick up, fucking ripping spines out of zombies. Like, World War II zombies is the prime example of everything that Treyarch zombies is not. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, you know, gore and horror. They're two very different kinds of games. They're the same game like principles, like they're the same you know, like wave-based horror with, you know, quests and stuff. Atmospherically though, they're completely fucking different, and I think that's awesome. I love that Treyarch throughout the classic era really stuck to that idea of it shouldn't be terrifying, but it can be a little bit bloody, but it also has to be really fucking funny, and it has to be, you know, just fucking awesome. That's the only way I can put it. Like, it just has to be, you know, like fucking hell yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? Not like, ugh. Like, I've never actually been terrified of zombies so much,
where it's like, yeah, sure, like the arms are flying off and things like that, but it's not disgusting me.
No,
it's not making me like appalled for some reason at what I'm looking at.
We're not trying to make body horror,
right?
Or I wasn't, right? We weren't. I wasn't trying to.
And there's people who really like that is 100% like, you know, World War II zombies was very.
There
like,
we go,
let's
man.
go for it.
Yeah.
And again, they had a lot of like Dead Space legacy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a choice.
Sense.
Like, I'm not not poo-pooing or, you know, saying it's any bad choice, but where I was like, well, I think we want to make it as accessible as possible. And again, that kind of promise that what's behind the scenes thing. It's like, well, I think the horror becomes more scary. I'll make one reference, which was it was World at War, and again, this was before, you know, I didn't work on that campaign. I came in to do this one, but at the very beginning, there's you're being tortured, right? And the guy puts the cigarette out on you at the very beginning, right? And
the only man that can outsmoke Snoop Dogg.
The guy that is Takio's model.
Yes. We had to put in things where you can put like age safety in, and if you switch this mode on, that we switch the blood off, we switch off certain violence and so forth, right? Well, the beginning was a real problem, because you're like, well, he's putting a cigarette out on you. You're a POW essentially, or you were captured and you're being tortured, right? And we're like, well, what do? We got to, you know, and what he decided to do was take the camera and not look at the guy torturing you, and look at the shadow on the wall.
That's awesome.
It became more disturbing because when you didn't look at the actual action happening, which you think is violent, and you look at the shadow of what's happening, it was more terrifying. And I was like, oh, we don't need to be showing this.
Right.
We just need to keep on inferring that bad things have happened.
You can do that in so many ways.
And then you get back to that idea of the book is scarier than the film because your imagination does the work, right?
Yeah.
So that was that kind of spirit of, and that's where, you know, I would say World at War started that, and I think Black Ops was the realization.
I mean, inference is one of the biggest tools used in horror. One of the ones for me that really fucks with my head a bit, and why I can't sit and watch one of the films. I can watch analysis videos on them and, like, you know, like story recaps, but the Saw series is still a series I can't sit down and watch, because not only body horror it's just horrible. Body horror and bugs are the only two that really fuck with me, honestly. But the Saw series is one of those ones where it's like, you know, Saw 1, 2, 3, very, very good story. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, starting to get into like just like torture porn kind of fucking, you know, films, just like shock value. But one of the things that used to really irk me was like these traps that people are putting Could you imagine what that's actually like to be in? Do you know what I mean? There's a 60-second timer of your impending fucking doom, and it's not just like a bullet to the back of the head. You're gonna be like fucking ground to bits. You're gonna have your face in a fucking Venus flytrap, you know? Or you're gonna have your face torn off by a backwards bear trap. It's like the inference and the use of imagination with even things that are in your face like that. It's terrifying. It's fucking awful, and it's things like that can make horror very, very, very scary without actually adding all that much to it, rather than just showing less of what you're trying to put in their face.
Of that first kind of the spirit of it moved in there, and that started to influence. Like, you know, I'd done like COD 3, right? I was doing COD 3, and that was just a straight up, World War II game, right? But World at War started to open up the darkness of it. Started to talk about the real kind of psychology of it, rather than just I say it passively, but the Band of Brothers idea, which we were doing, let's say in COD 3, by World at War, you're starting to question war itself. You're starting to question like what it meant to be certain troops in certain situations, right? And then Black Ops is just take that all the way up to the top and say, okay, then that means that the true truth is not something that you hear about.
Right. It's what lies beneath the surface.
Yep.
I love it. Let's see. Okay, chat. Really, really fast. Where are the other toys? Please, chat. I need this. It's embarrassing if I don't know. It's been years. I haven't played this in so long. Furnace. Well, that's the monkey though, right?
That is one of them.
Window above spawn. Oh, I think. Can I do it with ray gun? I feel like I might not be able to with ray gun. Somewhere. I see him. I see the teddy bear. Hold on. Wow, what a crazy play. There he is. I see him with the Bowie knife.
You got it. Nice.
Found another one. Yay. Okay, thank you. And then there's one more. I need this. I do, chat. I do.
It's the fucking monkey in the furnace.
If I run out of ammo and get trapped, then I might have to do a little bit of a no-clip situation. Is it just furnace now? We did cage, we did window, yeah.
I need this
Near
Blundell,
power?
please. It's not near power.
Cages.
Bro, it's not. You're a liar.
You talking about in here, chat? No, this is the giant. Furnace by other... Oh, yeah. I know where... Oh, my gosh. The fact that... This is why I have you guys. Thank you. See? There we go. The fact that we... By the way...
He's going to the wrong location.
Cool, the fact that... Like, again, there's 2,300 people watching.
He got the
right
monkey,
now.
right? Did he
You
get
guys are
the
incredible.
monkey?
Shout out to you again. I love that this map... I mean, think about it when this map came out. 2009.
Yeah,
right?
no. He's going to the wrong one as
that-
well.
Chat's like, no, it's here. Like, this is a map that is very, very old, but
not
everyone
there, man.
knows where it is. It's in one of these, right? Oh my god, am I losing it? Guys. That's the giant again? Damn it! No! You, Jason, you've done this to me. You swapped where the toys were. In the furnace. It's in the cage outside the furnace.
It's the
area.
fucking furnace where the monkey is. They were literally talking about it. Come on, man.
Oh, it was in by the Thompson. Oh, okay. Fake fan. Sorry. All right. Well, in the meantime, chat, let's go ahead and start. We're gonna be starting to wind down the director's commentary now because we've talked a lot. But like, obviously, be.
Fuck's sake,
Is it just
man.
the monkey and that's it? Is that really all we have left?
It's the monkey.
Is that really? That's all we have? I thought there was one more teddy bear. Maybe I'm wrong. Jason's so happy that we got the monkey.